everybody, and welcome back to Tales from the Forgotten Troop, and happy Halloween! Yay! We are here for a special Halloween one-shot led by, Puppy McCowboy over there, using the Monster of the Week system, so, yeah. Do you have any... Well, I guess I could go through our announcements. See, this is how prepared I am when I don't have to run things. If you're enjoying what we're doing, we have a Beacons page where you can check out some of our affiliate links and help support the show. We have lots of places where you can buy stuff. You can get yourself a Hero Forge mini. We have a coffee where you can make some donations, or a Redbubble where you can get some of our merch. And hopefully that'll be expanding sometime soon with some new designs. You can also find all of our social media links there, and just follow us for updates about the show. Join the Discord so you can know when we're live, or just like join in on the general chaos. We have a lot going on in our Discord server.
See pictures of pets.
Lots of pictures of pets.
Pictures of werewolves.
Sometimes dice.
Sometimes dice and art and other fun stuff.
Dice or art?
Yeah. That is true.
This is true, yes. I should not be discriminating against art. But I can throw it over to Crow, who is our keeper this evening. If you have anything to say, and then we can go around and introduce ourselves.
Give me 1 second.
For those of you who don't know, Crow lives in Florida, and
Yes,
wearing
and
any sort of heavy costume in Florida is a no-go.
Ugh, dying in that thing. Okay, now I can
It
see
was
everything.
Crow the
Hello.
whole time.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And he wouldn't have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for us meddling kids and our
And the Florida humidity.
stupid...
It's kind of true.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Crow, alternatively just Crow, and as Charlie said, I will be the keeper this evening, as we will be playing through a little mystery of my own adventure by the name of A Shadow Over Middleton, which I have on my phone here, so if you see me looking off to the side, it's because I'm looking at my notes. We will be having a brief one-shot here. We'll see how things go. It may go very quickly, or we may be here all night. So it depends on how you guys take things. But I have a bit of a blurb to give out at the beginning here. So I guess we'll read this off, and then we can go ahead and go around and introduce everybody. Sound good?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. The town of Middleton, Maryland, is experiencing a concerning series of deaths. Multiple people, including the son of the local mayor, have all been found dead with unusual wounds and in unusual places. The death of a local widow, a Miss Jane Buchanan, has caught your group's interest in particular after a photo of her body made its way to national headlines. The image of a mutilated corpse hanging from a power line is quite striking after all. Something wicked has taken roost in Middleton, and it's your job to find out what and put a stop to it before anyone else gets hurt. So, running down things here, let's begin with Tess.
Okay. I'm Tess. I am playing Cassandra Astor, and she is using the Pararomantic playbook, and currently tied to a werewolf leader that has has disappeared, and she's gone looking for him.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
And then moving right along, we have Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm playing Fennec's last name. I never actually gave him a last name, so it's Cooper now. I am using the Gumshoe playbook. I don't have to reveal anything. He used to be an FBI agent, but then he retired. and decided to continue to investigate spooky things on his own dime, which is much less exciting than having the government pay for everything.
Yeah. Fennec, you might have met me at one point or another.
I have also probably worked with Petra before as well.
And I would also say, for the purposes of this game, Mr. Cooper, that you'd be familiar with one particular agent who, at the time you were there, was probably up and coming, by the name of Diego Coyapodal.
Diego Coyapodal. Okay.
Mm-hmm. From what little you pay attention to the agency now, he's kind of a big deal.
What a nerd.
Definitely not
Fucking
aware.
nerd.
Is that
Coyote.
Coyapodal with a Q or a C?
That would be with a C.
Definitely not a coyote werewolf person.
And then moving right along, we have Charlie.
Hello, I'm a player tonight. I'm Charlie, and I'll be playing Sarah Starlight, who is using the monstrous playbook. And you may wonder, how is this monstrous? But I am dreamed of being on the silver screen and making it big in the movie industry, but decided that time is a fickle mistress that needs to be fended off, so I am slowly in the process of turning into a living doll.
That's
That was
pretty
so creepy.
monstrous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
That
a
tracks.
perfectly normal thing to have happen to you.
of course.
Yeah. Follow your dreams, they say.
There's nothing wrong with a little Botox, right?
Just a
Uh-huh.
little.
Supernatural
Nope.
Botox,
It's
whatever.
not supernatural Botox.
Right.
Super tox.
Spooky tox.
And then rounding things out, we have Jenna.
Hey everyone, I'm Jenna, and I'm going to be playing Petra Koslov, and she is the spooky. She is a psychic medium who contracts with, like, the FBI and whatever to make money, helping them solve cases, because she just knows things and stuff. She hears voices. Are they really there? Are they not there? Is it the future? Is it the now? Nobody knows. Certainly not her.
Who's to say?
Mhm.
Well, speaking of that, I believe we have a role that you get to do at the start of a mystery, do we not?
I do. I get to roll for my premonition.
Would you go ahead and read that off to everybody, just so everyone's on the same page here?
Yep. At the
Very
start of each
spooky.
mystery, roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, you get a detailed vision, something bad that is yet to happen. You take +1 forward to prevent it from coming true, and mark experience if you stop it. On 7 through 9, you get clouded images of something bad that is yet to happen. Mark experience if you stop it. On a miss, I get a vision of something bad happening to me, and you hold 3 to be spent 1 for 1 as penalties to my rolls.
All right.
The best move.
Very well then. Go ahead and roll it.
All right.
First roll of the night.
7.
7. All right, so that's cloudy visions, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll say we begin our adventure here in what will soon be revealed as Petra's dreamscape. Petra, you've probably received visions and dreams before. Do you have some structure to it, or is it just how it comes to you?
It just sort of comes to me. However, I feel like it just has like a different feel to it when it feels like it's a supernatural dream. Like that spidey sense, like a little itching in your nose or whatever. I don't know.
All right. Well, the itch does indeed come, as you can feel your senses being trawled through the stream of time ahead of you. And you receive clouded visions. You see a warehouse full of strange vehicles with contraptions and shapes upon them that you don't entirely recognize.
Mhm.
You see a small town crying out in fear. Fear of something hiding in the shadows. You see a green feather, but unlike any feather you've seen before, with scales. But dominating it all, you see an image of a 7-pointed star with an eye at the center.
Okay.
And it is on that image of the star that you awaken. On the bus, with the rest of your compatriots, on your way to Middleton. You all have been on the bus for a while here. For the sake of simplicity, y'all are largely based out of Washington, D.C. Middleton's a few hours' drive away, and unfortunately, you do not have a car reliable enough to make the journey, so you've had to take the Greyhound. How are all of you passing the time?
I think I've probably have like a book of monologues or something, and I'm doing like dramatic monologue readings under my breath.
Okay.
Petra is she is doing tarot card readings just like for the day, pulling some cards to see what's going on. She's like got all this stuff out. There's crystals everywhere. Whoever's sitting next to her is like, what the fuck?
You probably were like dozing off in like the middle of that a little bit, and just like woke up like, oh, back to the reading. All right.
Yep. Ah, shit, is that the tower?
Actually, as long as we're doing tarot cards, I would say you would actually pull the tower along with the Emperor and the Hermit.
Okay.
That's fine. Nothing to worry about.
Maria, Des, any ideas on what
I
you two
feel
might
like
be?
Cassandra is staring out the window, trying to figure out or like just kind of a little worried, but also she's like fiddling with her pocket knife and just impatient, clearly.
You would remember that Middleton was the place that your paramour said he was off to.
Yep.
And Fennec?
He slept for a good solid most of it because he was day drinking beforehand.
I see.
Yes.
So whenever he wakes up, he's a little disgruntled. And he's gonna dig out his flask of gin and just take another sip and try and go back to sleep.
Please tell me that he has like a stockpile of Slim Jims that he just carries with him to help with the hangovers.
In the blazer pocket. Just like open up the blazer, munch on a Slim Jim. Don't even take it out of the thing yet. Just take a bite, stick it back in. Gin. Back to sleep against the bus window.
Bro,
Love it.
for the record, how much does Fennec smell right now?
He showered before he got on the bus.
Specifically.
There's gin coming out of his pores, but other than that, he smells just fine.
Besides the gin coming out of his pores. Just
the
Yeah.
car door really helps with
strong smell of alcohol.
Yep.
And probably
And
a little
Armani.
aftershave if you bothered shaving.
No, he did not. Doesn't have to shave anymore. Are you kidding me? He's not in the FBI.
All right.
So it's Jim and Slim Jims. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Slim gin, if you will.
With a nice covering of Armani cologne just to try and disguise it.
Ooh, Armani. Classy.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Yeah, I feel like she's digging through her bag for like some kind of odor neutralizer. Her nose.
Oh god, where's the
Poor
Febreze?
nose.
He smells like
Right,
bad
the Febreze.
decisions.
Pull a little can of Febreze and just like,
Smells like later regrets for Petra.
Fine.
yeah, it's a relatively uneventful ride. I mean, there isn't really much more than y'all on the bus when it comes to who's traveling to Middleton. It's a very small town. If you did any amount of like research on it, you'd learn that it's like semi-important to like the history of the railway, but otherwise it's just kind of a small town in the middle of this in the middle of the state. But you all do have a copy of the newspaper article that was published about Miss Buchanan's death. And I would say that includes some details that you all have already learned. First of all, obviously, Miss Buchanan was found dead, hanging from an electrical wire on a highway out of the city. She had not been dead long. It was theorized that she was killed the night before. She had multiple jagged stab wounds, and had multiple broken bones. Was not electrocuted, however. At least not until the body was removed, which did result in a bit of an accident, unfortunately. Leading
How
to...
so?
Well,
Does it specify?
it does not specifically specify, but it does mention that 2 police officers were severely injured. So, unclear what state her body may be in currently. But yes, the lack of electrocution in particular caught you all as intriguing because she was found on a power line.
It wasn't
If
zapped.
she got up there any conventional way, she would have been electrocuted.
Oh.
But those are the details you know going into this.
Obviously, Mothman put her.
Were
up
there
so-
other tall buildings around the power line?
No, it was a relatively abandoned highway.
Okay, so
in
there's
fact,
nothing that could have been used as like a leverage point.
I would say it's easy enough to find like a map of the area, and you even have like a couple pictures from the newspaper.
Mhm.
The only building that seems to be nearby is a barn.
Barn.
hmm And even then, that's like a few dozen yards away from the power line itself.
And not vastly taller than the power line, I would assume.
Not really. It's at best about the same height, probably a bit shorter.
So definitely not something that could be used as a leverage point.
Climb up there and
Probably
just
not.
chuck a body on it.
But then y'all haven't looked at it yet, so who's to say?
See, I was thinking of a pulley system personally, more so than climb and chuck, but also valid.
But as you all are trundling along, perhaps contemplating the case, perhaps contemplating your own matters, you start to get a faint whiff of smoke. First, Cassandra, and then the rest of you. As you hear the bus driver faintly cursing from the front, as everything slowly rolls to a stop.
Well, there's that tower.
And y'all kind of like look around, probably ask what's happened. Apparently there was like some overheating in the radiator, and you can hear the bus driver banging around in the back. But Petra, you look out the window and you realize a few yards down the highway that you all are on, there's a power line that's been cordoned off with police tape.
Oh,
And there's a barn nearby.
oh,
And
look,
you don't
we're
really
here.
believe in coincidences.
No, nothing's a coincidence. Well,
End of the road, I guess.
Let's go,
Yeah.
investigator man.
Close enough.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
All right, so you're all going to disembark and go investigate?
Yep.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm gonna take out my little cassette tape recorder and just make a note of the time. Bus stopped. Barn in
right.
sight.
I'd say it's about like, let's say 3 in the afternoon. Oh, and worth noting here, the date that all of this is currently happening is October 29th.
Ooh.
You have the rest of today, tomorrow, and then Halloween is about 2 days away.
Are we expected to wrap this up by Halloween?
That sort of depends on how exactly the like wider system y'all have got. It seems like maybe you're not directly associated with the FBI. So I guess sort of
Independent
background question-
contractors.
I was about to say, sort of background question to all of you: would you all have been contracted to do this, or did you just come and investigate yourselves?
I absolutely would have been
Probably.
contracted.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
I
like
feel like the
maybe
cops...
not the cops did it. I think more
Oh.
so my paramours subordinates and stuff kind of set me up and
Perhaps.
or hinted at it enough for me to go looking.
We'll say that officially you all have been hired by the mayor of Middleton.
Okay.
Interesting.
And of course, he would like this to be resolved soon, as these deaths apparently have been happening for a number of weeks now, and he's had to strongly consider canceling the city's annual Halloween parade as a result.
Also, isn't this man grieving?
He is.
Okay.
Wasn't it his wife that was on
Politics
the
never
wire?
stops.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't his wife, but supposedly his son was one of the victims.
Oh, okay.
We can't close the
Oh.
beaches just because there's a shark in the water eating people.
Have
That
all
would
of
be
the
crazy.
victims had the
Tourism.
same, aside from the being on a wire?
You do not
had the
currently
same-
know.
Okay.
He just said that they were found in unusual places.
Interesting.
Do we have any sort of like paperwork or identification from the mayor saying that we can like go to the police and ask questions and gain access to evidence?
Not yet, I don't think. I think something like that wouldn't necessarily be mailed to you. That'd probably be something you'd be provided once you like showed up and officially accepted the job.
Okay. You should go pay a visit to the mayor.
Before or after we look at the crime scene?
I had planned
right
to
here.
check out the crime scene first.
It's like right here.
We're
Nothing's
out of here.
around.
We might as well just nose around.
I will say there's police tape, but there's no police presence officially.
It does seem more efficient to do this way.
Plus, no police tape or no police presence means nobody can stop us from poking around.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna disembark the bus
Yes.
and hop under the law tape.
All right. Well, Fennec, since you're taking the charge here, I feel like it makes sense for you to be our first one to roll Investigate a Mystery.
Oh my gosh, investigate a mystery.
First
Why don't I just
roll.
pull this up on my phone so I don't have to?
Yeah, that's something
Good
useful.
thing I have points in sharpness.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I had different ideas for the ratings, but I figured if he is like semi-retired, he's not really as cool as he thought he was. Ooh, I got a 12.
Ooh,
Okay.
congrats.
Oh.
Cool.
All right, so you get to hold 2, and you can spend that hold 1 for 1 to ask questions off the list here.
I can also ask any question about the mystery because I got a 12.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't
Well,
think
that's
of any
the
other question.
advanced move.
Are we not doing that?
Yeah, sorry, no.
Okay. I
That's
didn't
that's an
read the
advancement you could
rules.
get later.
Read the rules in this economy? They took the body down. It's just the police tape and the wires in the barn.
Correct. Though the barn is not cordoned off, you notice. It's just like the power pole, and you assume the area where she was found.
What? Where did it go?
Okay. I assume by it you mean whatever did this.
Yes.
Okay. I'll say you sort of look around for any sign of like footprints in the area. Like anything that might indicate like what may have you don't know, thrown her up there or placed her up
Yeah,
there without
broken-
electricity touching it somehow.
Broken roof tiles or whatever.
Yeah. I'll say in the area in the police tape you do not find much. However, as you're sort of glancing around the area, you do notice that in the distance, there appears to be a tree that is sort of snapped off at the top.
That looks suspicious. I'll point it out and just walk that way.
All right. It's a bit of a hike. So as you're making your way over there, are any of the rest of you going to try to investigate potentially?
I'll try and investigate.
All right.
I have to make room to roll. Oh, that's actually. So I roll 2 and then add my sharp,
Mhm.
right?
Correct.
So that's a 13.
Oh, we're so good at investigating.
Dang,
this.
I'm getting smoked already. All right, so again, you get to hold 2.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say, do I recognize any scents here based off of my own personal move?
Okay. Because somebody's a sugar baby who got some werewolf powers.
Yeah.
All right. Given a quick sniff around, there is definitely the scent of burned flesh hanging in the air. That kind of doesn't go away easily.
No.
You're pretty confident in betting that her body and potentially others were probably electrocuted pretty bad.
I feel like Cassandra mutters dumbasses under her breath when she smells that.
Fair response. You do also recognize another scent, though. One much more intimately familiar to you.
Dang it. Was here.
He was indeed here.
Mm.
All right. At this point, though, Fennec, after traipsing through some of the weeds and tall grass that sort of surrounds this barn, which you can now see is pretty well disused,
Mm-hmm.
you do manage to get to the tree. It is immediately evident this did not just happen. This very much looks like this tree got snapped in half by something.
Can I use
Like
my second question to ask what happened here?
Okay. Easily enough. You sort of glance around, and I'd imagine you have like some ballistic experience working in the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say you're relatively familiar with car crashes, like the sort of impact that can happen with that. This reminds you a lot of an impact like that, of something very heavy moving very fast, hitting something, and then that something giving way under it. Only, as opposed to happening at the trunk or the base of the tree, it seems to have somehow happened 30 plus feet in the air.
Interesting. Make a note of that on my tape recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Can we determine trajectory?
Probably could from the way the tree's all busted.
Let's see here. I would say if you're willing to use your second hold, Cassandra, for
I
where to
will
go
use
as well.
my second one to try and
Okay.
figure that one out.
I sort of imagine like shouting between you and Fennec. You can sort of position yourself. As best you can tell, it roughly lines up with the area that's cordoned off by the power pole. It's roughly a straight line, though it's not perfect. Maybe it's your imagination, but it seems to like bend away from the barn.
Interesting. I will share these observations and the fact that the barn seems weird.
Well, as you say that, I'm going to say that Petra's going to open the door to look in the barn.
Okay. Before you even open the door, Petra, you
Mm-hmm.
immediately recognize something on this barn.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
Point star.
don't get ahead of me now. As you're approaching this barn, first of all, it's very clear this thing is in disuse. There's like holes in the wall, like the shingles are falling off. It's clear this thing's abandoned. There's just weeds everywhere. But you do notice, very faded and like worn away by weather and the rain, is a 7-pointed star with an eye in the center of it, painted over the door.
Ah. I had a dream about this. Bad stuff. Ugh. Should probably go inside though.
All right. You go inside? Yeah, we don't need a roll for this. You can dig around as much as you want. Not much to find here. There's some rotting hay, rusted over tools. You find a bone that you presume belonged to some dog that's probably long since left this barn. But otherwise, it's just kind of a rundown barn.
Okay. So is there, let me see here. So can I use magic to try to observe another place or time?
You can certainly try to.
I would like to try to observe the time in which the person died on the electrical wire.
Okay. I would say in order to do that, you are going to need something connected to the person that died in order to cast that spell.
There any remnants of blood where or flesh where someone got electrocuted?
Go into the morgue and borrow some stuff.
That's all.
You
Or
could do that.
the wire itself, like if we were like if it's no longer I hope it's no longer electrified, but you know.
It's a power line. It would stay on.
It is a power line. I mean, presumably there is a little bit of crispy flesh attached to it still, but it is a power line.
Woo! All right. If there's crispy flesh on it, do we have like, I don't know, some sort of like tweezers or something?
Metal? I don't think I want to use metal against a power line.
Yeah, no.
I think we should just do it. What's the worst that could happen?
We die in the first 5 minutes of this episode. New characters, here we go.
Oh boy.
I'm worried that we wouldn't derail this.
Is there anything nearby that like we can find that's hers?
Well,
Like a remnant of clothing or flesh on the ground, not on the power line.
Or potentially with the impact with the tree.
Oh, yeah. Just kind of looking around for anything that might be hers. Something that fell out of her pocket when she got yeeted onto the power line.
okay. I know we're rolling this a lot, but go ahead and roll Investigate a Mystery for me.
Okay.
And as a reminder here, you all are here, so if anyone wants to try to help out.
I'll help.
I wanted to do something with the barn, but
Oh, okay.
we can resolve Jenna's thing first.
All right. That was a 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, you get to hold 2. We'll get to you in just a moment here, Charlie.
Okay.
I was gonna help out, but I don't even need to roll because you did pretty good. So
All right.
So then roll magic.
Well, you need to spend the hold on the questions here.
yeah,
Oh, on the
You're
question.
you're investigating first.
I would
Gotcha,
say-
Find,
gotcha.
I would perhaps pitch here what is being concealed here as trying to find something attached to the victim.
Yeah, what is
Mhm.
being concealed here?
Okay. I'll say you sort of walk around a little bit and you end up sort of wading into the tall grass that's like between the barn and the power line.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost trip over it, but you sort of like push apart the grass and you find a ball of multicolored yarn. Specifically white and red in sort of like a candy cane stripe pattern.
That's not weird at all. All right. I found yarn in the grass. Maybe hers. I'm not sure.
It's definitely out of place for the area, so probably the victims? You're not sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I'm gonna hold the other question for
right.
later.
Fair enough. Charlie.
I was trying to figure out what effect this might fall into, and I'm still not kind of sure, but I also wanted to try and use magic to determine if the 7-pointed star with the eye on the barn was like a ward or something, since whatever trajectory this thing had was moving away from the barn. I wanted to know if this barn was protected from it.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say you can just straight up do that. Go ahead and roll magic. Or, I think it's cast, or use magic.
It's use magic, yeah.
Yeah. So that's plus weird.
Oh, gosh. Thankfully, I have a high weird. I got an 8.
Okay. So it works imperfectly. So you get to choose your effect and a glitch.
I mean,
I
would
would say-
sensing this be like do one thing that is beyond human limitations?
I was about to say, this probably falls under beyond human limitations.
Okay.
And then what's the glitch you would like? Because I did read up on this. Y'all did choose the glitches for magic.
I'm gonna cause chaos. It has a problematic side effect.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'll say, you sort of tap into the weird feelings that Botox serum sort of gave you initially, and just sort of focus in on this star. It's not particularly gaudy, certainly nothing compared to like a Hollywood walk star. But as you just stare at it, you can just feel it staring back at you. And before you even realize it, there is just like this fear gripping your heart. In answer to your question, yes, these stars, or this star at least, does ward this location. And it now wards it against you.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say that you now have a weakness to these stars for the duration of this mystery.
Okay. So what does that entail? Having a weakness to them? Can I just not go where they are, or like, will it cause me harm?
Locations marked with them are considered barred to you.
Ooh.
Okay.
And you are fairly confident this is exactly what ever did this experienced. As a side note, you want to get as far away from this barn as possible now.
I probably just start like backing up. I imagine it's that kind of fear where you just can't look away, so I'm just like frantically like reversing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a little incline and I reverse a little too fast down the hill and then I fall backwards and like ass over cheek. My skirts go everywhere.
Yup. Y'all are just kind of watching this.
I feel like Cassandra is just watching this with like a single raised eyebrow, like, what is going on?
Then I'll go help her up.
Um, Stars. Good for other people, bad for me. Good for other people. Protected against whatever that was and just waves at like the power lines and the broken tree.
Okay.
All right. But Petra, are you gonna try to use your spell?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So once again, go ahead and roll plus weird.
Oh, that's a 14.
Dang.
God.
Okay.
Maybe we should have just gotten rid of luck for this game. Apparently, we don't need it.
Apparently.
I might need it.
That's true. That's true.
We give Charlie all our luck.
Unfortunately, I think luck only applies to your rolls.
Yeah,
doomed,
that's true.
It's the GM curse. I'm gonna just roll nothing but bad.
Sorry. Matt Mercer shares your pain.
I don't play enough, so I don't get all the bad rolls out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like Petra just sits down in the middle of the grass, despite whatever chaos is going on with Sarah, like just like tumbling, like
just roll
over
past
tea
you.
kettle, and somebody's like running after her to help her up, and Cassandra just staring at the whole scene. Petra's just kind of like do
Yep.
and sits down in the middle of the grass and closes her eyes and just like meditates on the energy here.
All right. So you sort of focus in using a bit of psychometry here. For those of you who don't know, that's fortune reading via objects. And you quickly pick up on the energy of this yarn ball. And it's pretty evident right from the get-go, more than likely the victims. You do believe this was owned by a woman, a relatively lonely woman who put a lot of her energy into what she worked on, including this yarn ball, which, from what you can tell, she intended to turn into something nice and warm to wear for winter. And as you sort of peel back through the layers of emotion, you sense a calm from a day ending, then panic, pain, fear, confusion, deeper, stronger fear, and finally, a very, very painful end. That appears to have been brought about through, I would say you get the sensation of jaws.
Oh. Big teeth snap, snap.
Not teeth,
Ah.
jaws. Something clamping down. Something ensnaring.
Like giant bear trap.
And something that could see her.
Like giant sentient bear trap with eye on it.
Something like that.
Seems reasonable.
But you are fairly certain that this belonged to Miss Buchanan.
This belonged to the victim. Yarn was very important to her. She make warm things in winter. Also probably got snapped by some sort of something. She's just making like
Like a mechanical something or like
yes,
a biological something.
mechanical.
You're not certain one way or another.
Oh, okay.
Giant bird?
Maybe. I don't think so. It was like more like jaws, not beak, but not
Blind
with
shot.
teeth.
Oh, not teeth.
Not teeth, yeah.
What would have caused the stab wounds then? She had a bunch of jagged stab wounds. Shark
May-
teeth are jagged.
Well, like
Could be a
in
Claws?
in my country, we have the traps for the bear,
Mm.
you know, and has sharp, serrated edges.
Giant flying bear trap.
Yeah.
Sentient bear trap?
Yes. And there was like something was looking at her. And then it like drug her.
Giant sentient bear trap with a large eyeball in the center.
Seems
Well,
reasonable.
that's how it would seem,
Whoa.
obviously.
I know there was at least one other individual at this scene.
What?
That's
What are
good.
you talking about?
The man I'm looking for, as an aside to this whole mission, was here.
Hmm. That's very suspicious.
Hmm.
Alright. But at this point, you all are experienced enough that you're fairly certain you're not going to be getting much more out of this scene. So unless someone had something specific they'd like to try.
Nope.
It's time to pay a visit to the mayor.
Yeah, and I hope that they don't have any stars above their door.
I hope that the mayor's office is not too far away. Since the bus is not working.
Well, as you say that, the bus driver sort of like waves y'all down. He has managed to repair the bus and is ready to continue on to Middleton.
Very good.
Wow, what a wild, crazy coincidence.
Does
Not really.
this bus look like it would have been in this terrible condition that it would break down randomly? Or
Yes, not many people
so
head
it's
out to
not
Middleton.
like it doesn't look like there was sabotage here.
No. No.
Okay.
But as you all get closer to Middleton, I have some bad news, Sarah.
Oh no!
Now that you all are looking for them, you do in fact see the 7-pointed stars in a lot of places.
Oh boy.
Automatic effect.
Here we
It's
go.
mostly on the outskirts in like some farmland. On basically just about every barn and granary you see this 7-pointed star with the eye in the center. Assorted colors and designs. It's clear that there isn't like a unified like symbol that they're all referencing, but it's the same features of the 7 points and the eye in the center. It's sort of assembled in different ways, clearly handmade in every single instance.
I feel like we might want to inquire as to
I feel like
why this is being carpeted everywhere.
we like pass one slowly on each side, so every time we get close, I like move to the other side of the bus, and then the
Yep.
other one comes up and I move to the other side of the bus. It's just
That's 100% how it works.
back and forth.
And
It seems abnormal for you.
it is a very curious sensation, Sarah, because it is almost like trying to put two magnets of the same polarity together. You just feel like you have to get away immediately from these things.
Creepy.
They don't bother me.
Oh, look at you.
I'm sorry, but Jenna and the Joker makeup it's kind of hilarious.
I agree with Petra. This seems like a personal problem.
I mean, I have unsettling dream about them, but like they don't make me feel unsettled when I see them in person, you know? Just like something bad's going to happen around one.
I would also note, Petra, none of these designs have matched specifically what you saw in your dream.
Oh, okay, so none of them are like the exact same.
Yeah.
But none of these are the right ones where somebody is going to die, so it's fine. No bothers for me.
All
That's what makes you so unique.
Well, thank you. And just like walks away. or like goes back to doing whatever she was doing.
Arranging your crystals.
Gotta get the chakras right.
All right. But in short time, the bus does roll into Middleton. It's small town. There's a few folks on the street. It's pretty clear right off the bat, though. These deaths have had some sort of impact because you do see, like, a police officer on just about every corner you pass. And they all appear to be keeping a watch out. But you're dropped off in town, and you kind of have the run of the place. So where would you like to head? I would presume City Hall,
I
but
would say City Hall. I would also think town records to see if there's significance to these stars, like in regards to the town itself. Specifically, I'm kind of terrified there's going to be one just smack dab in the middle of the City Hall and limit one of our party members.
who knows?
I just have to stay outside all the time.
The creepy doll girl cannot question the mayor.
I will say the stars are not as prevalent inside the town itself. It's mostly in like the outskirt farm areas that you see them.
Might want to put a pin in that then and interview folks later to see what exactly they are. But
Yeah, maybe they're just a
On a barn, so protect
Farm.
livestock.
yeah
it's true.
good crops maybe.
But it also just stopped a body from hitting the barn, which is why I think there might be something more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or there might be something regarding the body that stopped it from hitting the barn because you're feeling repulsed by it as well.
Well, if the body was being carried.
Pretty solid. Well, that's true.
If
Depends.
body was in the bear trap, the sentient evil bear trap thing, then maybe bear trap can't go in, and then it just like repelled it,
That's true.
you know. But also, I think that maybe bear trap just dragged her up there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's some sort of like creature with bear trap arms. Could be.
You all have certainly seen Stranger.
Just a bear
Glances
trap
over
in
at
its
Sarah.
chest. It just opens, and there's just a big eye in the center
Mhm.
and lots of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Be named Gluttony.
I appreciate that reference.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
All right. But it sounds like the two options that we're debating between are records and City Hall. In a town this small, they're actually pretty much the same building. So
I think we should
Easy.
check out the woman's house too.
you can also do that if you want
We
to.
should probably get City Hall first, though, so we get our certification to go to various crime scenes.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that
Maybe
way
they
we
don't
can-
like random people just
Yeah.
like I
And
need to
that
come into this
way
person's house.
We can also get a list of the other victims to also check out and see if there's any commonalities between them.
That's good thinking. You're very smart, Cassandra.
There's a reason I got to where I am.
Called Sleeping with the Boss.
Big tits and a low-cut shirt.
It's part of it.
you use what you got in this world, right?
But you also need to know how to use what you got
Shake it
and
with
who
your
to
mom.
speak with.
Anyways, let's look for let's go to City Hall, talk to Mayor, and then maybe we can get records and find out where these people lived.
All right. So as we're walking down the road here, I have to ask, Sarah and Petra, how much are the two of you trying to hide your peculiarities?
Petra is unaware that she is peculiar in any way.
Okay.
I mean, like, she's oblivious to the fact that people think she's weird.
I mean, I will probably just carry myself with an era of importance. And I feel like, I don't know, if someone glances at me, it's not a big deal, but if they're just like, wait a minute, and look a little too long, then it starts getting creepy.
Starts dipping into the uncanny valley.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
So I
okay.
probably just walk with the confidence of like, I'm supposed to be wherever I am, and of course people are meant to look at me.
Fennec, Cassandra, are either of you trying to help these two?
I feel like Cassandra is definitely trying to be aware of what our presence is saying in this town, if only because she doesn't want to necessarily draw unwanted attention to us just yet.
Okay. And Fennec?
Keeping an eye on people who like are pointing things out a little bit more, like literally do the whisper and point thing. Just kind of making note of who's being ridiculously observant.
Who's being nosy, that so we can question them later.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the traitor.
I would say you don't see any of that necessarily. You don't need to roll for this. I'll just say that you notice this. I will say you do notice that everybody's kind of walking quickly. No one's really staying on the streets long. Like everybody's walking with purpose and pace. Like you see like a mother pulling her child along who like is also looking a little scared and probably like glances at you, Sarah, and is like, as they're like being pulled away. Like, what the? But overall, not a whole lot of people on the streets. You very much get an atmosphere of fear here. People are kind of scared.
What time is it?
At this point, it's about 4 or 5 o'clock-ish. But you head up to City Hall. Very traditional City Hall with like the columns in front and all that. And it's a simple thing to go up to the secretary for the mayor and let her know that, you know, y'all are here to see him, whatever the name of your little Scooby gang is. And in short order, he lets you in. The mayor is... I wrote his name down somewhere. Oliver Compton. He is a middle-aged fellow. Starting to bald along like the side, so he's kind of got like a enhanced widow's peak going on. Wears a pair of glasses that are clearly just for reading because he sort of takes them on and off as he's like talking with you guys. Relatively well built, not really. He sort of falls in the middle between like muscular and chubby, so just kind of like a neutral build.
Dad bod.
Sorry, say again?
Dad bod.
Not even necessarily dad bod. He's a little too thin to be dad bod, but he's like too thick to be skinny. Just sort of like perfectly average body.
Okay.
I will say he's got a very prominent, like, hawkish nose. And it's very clear this man has not slept. He looks very tired. And he has like a cup of coffee next to him on his desk that he clearly has not touched. It's gone completely cold. And he's just kind of like looking around listlessly as the four of you come in. He sort of stands up and like shakes each of your hands. I'm glad you got my message.
So you have bad dream too.
What?
I think he's stressed out about the murder.
The
Yeah.
string of murders and disappearances.
Yeah.
This makes sense, yes.
Don't worry, Oliver, dear. We're here to help.
We're hoping it's murders at this point. He sort of like gestures and there's chairs for all of you to sit down.
Well, what do you mean you're hoping it's murders?
Well, each one seems to be more and more impossible. Folks are talking about how it's getting close to Halloween and
Care to elaborate on the impossibility of these acts? Are there any commonalities in the methods that are used, or
Well-
even the times the bodies are found?
I mean, you'd be better off speaking to Sheriff McCurry or that city bloke that came in a few weeks ago.
That's not suspicious
City
at all.
bloke?
What was his name? It was something Mexican.
Oh, was it
Coyote?
Diego Coyote?
Yeah, Agent
with the
Coyopodal,
C?
that was it.
Coyocodal.
Ah,
Is he still is he active, or is he?
Oh yeah, he was hotshot guy. Probably still is.
He's doing
Really
more
good.
than McCurry.
Of course he is.
I'm sorry. I haven't been sleeping well the past 2 days.
I'll offer him my flask.
He sort of looks at it, glances at the time, then he just takes it and like swigs it back.
I think Petra just starts lighting some sage to just like, you know, help clear the bad energy so he can sleep.
You're not the first. Thanks.
What's the
Ugh.
significance of how
Around here?
that people were getting nervous because Halloween was approaching?
Well, I mean, there's the parade, and we've been trying to do preparations, tried to keep things under wraps for the first few deaths, but after Sammy... Sorry. After Sammy and his girlfriend, it wasn't really any way to hide anything anymore. And, some folks are really into Halloween here, but, we're trying to grow the economy a bit, so we've been trying to, move things more in a Christmassy direction, but people still have their superstitions.
You
Kind of
mentioned
superstition.
Sammy. Oh, sorry. Answer Charlie's first.
What was that, Charlie?
What kind of superstition?
Well, I imagine you all probably know about our local legend.
Do we?
I don't know. How much do y'all pay attention to weirdness lore in general?
Not at all.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
All right.
If I dream about it.
Fraternize with conspiracy theorists.
The three of you
Fair.
minus Sarah, then go ahead and just roll me a d6 real quick, and just tell me what you get.
Ooh.
4.
6.
4.
6. Okay. I would say Fennec and Petra, you're not really sure what it's referring to. Cassandra, you do have some idea of what he might be talking about. You do have some memory of, like, watching a cryptid hunting television show that actually took place here. You don't remember specifically what it was about. It was one of those nights where you were, like, post-coitus, just sort of flipping through channels, like, can't fall asleep yet. Just something that you were, like, half watching. But you do remember that it had something to do with the nearby mountain, Braddock Mountain.
You have a local cryptid that resides near Braddock Mountain, do you not?
Yes, the Snallygaster. It's a bunch of hoo-ha, if you ask me.
Tell me about this Snallygaster.
Well, there's plenty of things said about it, but I don't know much about it myself. I am originally from out of town. My election was a little contentious amongst the locals, but I think I've done a good job. You don't think this is something having to do with my election, do you?
I feel like you're getting off topic here. I was asking about the snaily gas there, and now you're talking about your election. What does that have to do with that?
Politics.
A lot of things can link back to politics if properly motivated.
There has to be some motivation. At least that's what Agent Koyapodal tells me. I mean, if it matters at all, Snallygaster's supposed to be this dragon that hides around the mountain. No, I say dragon, but, with these cryptids, everyone describes weird things to them.
Oh, dragon, that's so cool.
I guess. I think it was a little stupid.
You should really
Dragons.
capitalize on that more. Why do you not use that in your tourism?
Claws. They got claws and teeth.
The mayor before
Jaws.
me did, and I felt it was a little kitsch. Especially with, all those tentacles coming out of the beak. Just looked ridiculous.
Dragons don't
beak,
have
you
tentacles
say?
coming out of the beak, do they?
Like I said, local cryptid, and everyone says it's got all sorts of things.
They're artist renderings of this creature?
Sure. I mean, there's local shops if you want to go see one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You'll recognize it the second you see it. Look for the thing with feathers in the one eye.
So you were saying that this is happening because of your election.
It's the
Why
only
might
reason I
that
can
be?
think of.
Have the
Like I
letters-
said, I'm not from around here. I'm
you-
originally from DC.
Mm,
So you believe
Mhm.
that because you're outsider and you became mayor, somebody is sabotaging you by killing a bunch of people? I feel like there's easier ways to sabotage people.
I mean, maybe, but if they are, took them a while to find someone that, I don't mean to sound callous, but someone that I would actually care about.
Is there a connection between the victims?
Aside from how they died, we don't know.
Not like they don't all work on like the parade or your campaign or something along those lines.
No, most of them aren't even involved in the parade.
What about this Christmas shift initiative that you mentioned? Are they involved with that?
Let's throw up things for a second. I mean, I guess Sammy was, incidentally. He worked for the local J Mart, but
Dang that.
Like
I'm sorry, I don't know that much. I've been briefed, but ever since. I'm sorry. If you're looking for details of the case, you probably want to head the next building over and talk to the sheriff or Agent Koyapodal.
Okay, bye. She just walks out and goes that way.
We appreciate your assistance. If we have further questions, we know where to find you. We'll let
Well, I
you-
was wondering if you wanted these, and he'll display badges of authority.
Do the badges
was
have
just
the
gonna
star
ask.
on them? First and foremost.
They do not.
Okay.
That'd
Okay.
be good.
I'm happy to hear that.
I
think
just
these will
can't
be most
participate in the
helpful.
investigation at all.
Yeah, you're just out.
Before we go, I'm gonna ask what the stars are about. We've been seeing all these crazy 7 pointy stars coming
Oh,
into town.
yeah. Those are Snallygaster stars.
Sure.
Meant to ward
It's-
off the caster.
Supposedly. Don't ask me how it works, but it's supposed to keep your grain and livestock safe. A few of my posters got those put on them.
As in, like, graffiti?
Yeah. And Petra, as you're sort of just walking out of the office, because I assume they like stick around for a couple more questions.
Yeah.
And
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, "Hey, bye." I would say you almost like stumble directly into someone as you're stepping out the door. As there is an elderly man in sort of a set of overalls or in coveralls, with like a baseball cap on and a mop, who's pulling along a janitorial cart.
Oh,
And
sorry.
you almost bump into him, and he sort of looks up, and he just gives you the dirtiest look.
I think Petra says, I think there's something wrong with your face, sir.
Maybe there's something
There-
wrong with your face.
There appears to be something wrong with your face. You're doing like this.
You here for the parade?
No.
No good kids. Starts just like shuffling off with his cart.
You're suspicious. Come back here.
You're suspicious. But I would say he delays you enough that y'all can finish up your questions without Petra just wandering off on her own.
You like walk out and she's telling this guy that there's something wrong with his face.
Yep.
All right.
Don't harass the locals, Miss Petra.
He was giving me a weird look.
I think that's just how his face is.
That's just how the guy looks.
That's what I'm saying. There's something wrong with his face.
It's probably not something you
I'm
can
old,
correct.
not deaf, you know.
Be nice
Sorry,
to the
should
poor
we talk
man.
louder?
It's fine. He'll be dead soon. Maybe a decade or more. Less, maybe. The thing gets him.
I feel like Cassandra is just like head is in her hands. She's like, well, there goes someone who would have been useful to ask questions.
Cassandra's just like, God, why do I keep getting paired up with these people?
Why am I stuck with this?
the social skills of the the drunk ex-cop is my
Look,
best.
I have a -1 in charm.
I have +1. I'm just fucking weird.
2 in charge.
I have 1 in charm, but a -1 in cool.
No, I have a -1 in Tom. But
All right.
I feel like Cassandra is definitely heading towards the next building over. Or
Yeah.
the
Police station?
sheriff's
Petra's
office.
also.
Yes.
All right. Police station is similarly traditional. It's very small. In fact, thinking about all the cops you saw, you're pretty certain they must have called in some extra forces from out of town.
Mhm.
And the second you walk in, the place is like all but abandoned, aside from like one clerk who's sort of like at a desk, like going through a stack of papers that's like reaching up to his head as he's like seated down. And he like looks up with just like dark rings under his eyes. Can I help you?
We're looking for Sheriff McCurry regarding the current incidents going on in the town. We're here to be of assistance.
You're here to help?
That is the plan.
Okay. Fair warning. Sheriff is in his office. He sort of gestures towards the door in the back. No promises on what state he's in.
What do you mean by this?
It's not really my place. I'm just kind of paid minimum wage to be here.
Is he a fan of various vices that could be affecting said state, or are we talking a mood state as in there are new people in the office and it is less than ideal?
Where's the agent? We'll talk to him. He seems more competent.
Agent?
Where is dear Diego?
Oh, Koyapoodle. I'm not sure. He stepped out about 45 minutes ago, I think. I'm sorry. I've been trying to deal with all these complaints.
Complaints? Tell me about the complaints.
Ugh, it's a nightmare. I mean, of course, there's the complaints for public safety, you know, given
Well, yes, of
happening.
course.
I'm assuming you've all been briefed. And then there's, you know, all the complaints about stores closing down, and then there's all the complaints about pets missing.
There's
pets
towards
missing.
the sheriff's office.
Whoa, a lot just happened there at once.
Sarah's just going straight to the root of
Yeah, I'm
it.
just going towards the sheriff's office.
Welcome to herding cats.
And we're
Wait, what-
asking regarding both the stores closing and the pets being missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, after the J-Mart incident, not a lot of folks are keeping their doors open.
That was when the young man and his girlfriend were killed.
Yeah, you could describe it that way, or you could describe it as the building exploded.
Lovely.
It's a disaster area.
Is there a case file that we can read to catch up on everything that's going on?
Yes, maybe
Uh,
all the death cases we
yes,
could read.
but I'm sorry, I'm
Sure.
gonna need to see the.
I will
She-
blatantly. I will give Art my badge, and I don't know if Petra has her badge.
You hand her a
Yeah.
badge. She's like, oh yes, here it is.
All right, yeah, you can look it over, but I am gonna need you to sign off on it. Is one of you in charge?
What's pathetic?
I think technically the disheveled man who's drunk, probably going that way is in
That's our
charge.
adult.
Oh no.
Oh god,
Then
there's
it's
two of
the
them.
adult.
Okay.
What, you need me to sign evidence chain of custody stuff or something?
Yeah, chain of
Yeah.
custody. Just,
Yeah.
you know, covering our asses with all this.
But yeah.
Mayor's really being on us. Hang on. And he starts, like, going through a file folder. Meanwhile, Sarah,
Yeah.
you come up to the door that does indeed have the name Sheriff Greg McCurry on it. It is currently closed. Do you knock, or do you just, like, stride right in?
I'd probably knock and say, yoo-hoo!
What is it?
Sheriff, can I come in and speak with you?
Connor, is that you?
No, my name's Sarah.
Did I call a hooker? Come on in.
I'll,
No.
I'll open the door and
Again.
just like open the door enough and just like slide in and shut the door behind me.
We're intrigued that this town is implied to have an escort business now.
Oh, it does now.
All down, not much to do. I should know, I live in one. But yeah, it's somewhat uncanny, Sarah, as you step into the room, how similar the smell is in here to Fennec on any given day.
I've been here before. Oh no,
Oh,
we lost us.
Yes!
Oh
No!
Should we go to a break?
What time is it?
Possibly.
a
The
little early
overlay is
for
going
a
to be messed up for a
break.
bit. So, emergency break.
Yep.
Let's take an emergency
Yep.
break.
Emergency break.
We'll
Sorry, y'all.
be back
Sorry,
in a little bit.
everyone.
Hey, this might come out as total madness, but just wait. I really need to tell you something. 'Cause I feel alone in a room, surrounded by people. I wanna know if you're feeling it too. Out on the roof, here with you, it all seems so distant. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you, yeah. I've been a cynic for so many of my days. Now you just my makeup believer out of me. 'Cause you look so pretty in the sunrise, and somehow now everything is alright. I feel like every word is so translucent, so real. Oh, won't you tell me how you do it? Now I'm high, but the buzz in the room, surrounded by people. I couldn't care, yeah, but nobody but you. Sway, move me now, baby, dance, give into the moment. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you.
She'll hang up. Like, we're going solo. But, you know,
Is it technically solo if we're together?
oh, that's a fair point.
Unless we're going solo side by side.
But does Sarah exist? That's the question.
Is it technically solo since I don't exist?
Oh.
If a person doesn't exist, do they make a sound?
Well, you exist to me.
Does that make
It
me a
would make-
figment of your imagination?
You also exist to other people. Just not the ones who would be contextually important.
That's all dependent on the people who went to this other reality with you. So, could be some weird
Group
like,
hallucination?
group hallucination or mind.
Do you feel
trip.
like you're a group hallucination?
Did the real life figment of our imagination just say, I think I'm a figment of your imagination?
Cynthia's just saying things at this point because it's funny.
I mean, I feel like I have my own identity and being, so I do not consider myself a figment of the imagination. But are your thoughts about me giving me power?
If they are, then I need to investigate what powers that I've stolen recently.
Do our thoughts allow others to exist?
I think, therefore, you are. She will, she takes her hood down and takes the face mask bit off. Just gets her hair back in place.
Mask hair.
Yeah. She is wearing a domino under the face mask.
My god.
Mask under mask.
Well, I mean, in episode
Russian
1,
nesting.
she had to have her full head mask taken off, so she's taking precautions.
She's got Russian nesting masks.
Takes off a mask. There's another one.
There's
There's
another
another one.
mask.
There's another
mask.
one. The things that have been ripped away for you aren't necessarily as permanent as all that. I don't think you've lost Henry forever. I don't think you have to give up football as a thing you love. I don't think you're close to having had your parents, any of them, ripped away. There are good things in your life, important things, but you need to fight for it. And I understand the self-doubt, the self-pity, and wanting things to just stop for a little while. But you have to keep going. It's just how it works. You need to cry. You need to scream. Do it. Whatever gets you through.
And
Because if you
Roxy
stop-
showed up now and just bust through the door with spoons and ice cream.
No,
Okay.
not unless you completely disregard what Eugene's gonna say.
That's fair.
So, if you won't believe in you, I believe in you. So believe in me.
I did this to myself, didn't I?
Some of it. Not all of it.
I had to go with Coyote.
She didn't even throw you as hard as Roxy did, which is good because that means Roxy can throw somebody farther.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna defeat Iron Maiden. Bitch, I can throw farther than you.
I'm gonna
What?
yeet her. I'm gonna yeet her in the
Shame.
ocean. We'll just drop kick her into the ocean. Just
She can fly.
trebuchet. No, well,
And she
we
swim.
we put magnets in the ocean.
We leave her exposed to water so she starts to rust.
I
Yes.
don't think any of us know how magnets work.
I would assume that Cynthia does, since she's a physics major, but
I was about to say Sylvia also took physics, specifically because Cynthia took physics.
Roxy
Oh.
kind of knows how magnets work because that's how you pop out dents in cars and shit.
That's how
you
you
know?
cheat on tests, magnets.
Jenna, did you actually say what you're doing? I feel like shortly after Liz leaves, Janet comes back into the garage, like locks eyes with Parker. We're stealing mail. Get dressed.
God damn it, Janet. Cut to black.
Oh my god. Okay. This will not go horribly wrong. Okay. Oh, with that,
Well, can I really quick? Because this is fast. Because this is like a total counter to what Janet just did. When Liz gets home, Dominic's sitting outside the gate, and that's when he says it out loud to her. So now his animals picked up on him saying it. So it's like the plans are just everything's gone to crap.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
So what is effectively happening is that one meme of someone about to get shot and someone's like, no, 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 no. Just diving in front of each other.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Maya didn't.
Flynn's
know. No, okay.
asleep.
Yeah, Maya
my
didn't.
God.
Flynn is asleep. No.
What a way to end off episode 2. What a cliffhanger.
Show me love, show me light, show me love. Make it change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got.
Okay, we're back. Hello.
Just rip the dermal layer of your skin off.
Back from our emergency break.
Oh, I filled my water, but I forgot my tea.
And costume change for Maria.
Yeah. Emergency costume change
Yeah.
for Maria.
It was apparently a reference that I do not get.
I'm
This is
super
super-
cool Hollywood producer Lance Cash. I produced the show, you may have heard of it, Modern Family, with all of the different families. Very modern.
Brings in that cash money.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay.
I love Lance Cash so much.
Sunglasses.
And it is cash with a dollar sign instead of the S.
Yes.
Yes.
Just, I don't want to put these on my desk. There's
And
no
suddenly a
room.
meteor falls out of the sky and just pierces Fennec right through the skull. Such a shame.
Guess who's
Oh,
back?
that's okay. I can make a backup character.
My next character. Super cool Hollywood producer Lance Cash.
Yep.
Okay. Focus up. So, when we were slightly interrupted there, Sarah, you had stepped into the room with Sheriff McCurry, who, again, smells strongly similar to Fennec and his love of gin. Though in this particular instance, it appears the sheriff's preferred drink is whiskey, as there is one bottle already empty on his desk and another that is half empty.
Talking like Jack Daniels, or
Yeah, Jack Daniels. And he's just like, not necessarily face down, but he's just like laying on the desk, just sort of like head tilted to look at you. Do I know you?
You're about to. I'm Sarah Starlight. Nice to meet you. I'm here to help with your problems.
If you are another medium, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Oh, no. I don't deal with all that mumbo jumbo.
Right. Before we get too far into things here, Sarah, if you would please roll me manipulate someone.
Ooh, boy.
Because you are going to need to manipulate this man to get him to give you anything.
Okay, because I have unnatural appeal. I get to roll plus weird for manipulate someone instead of charm.
Lucky.
I need it because I have a -1 to charm. Where's my... Oh, it's over here. Okay. Good God. Okay, thank God. I have a +3 to manipulate. That is a 9 total.
Okay. So on a 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. If you ask too much to tell you what they want, if anything, it would take for them to do it. Okay, so we'll just keep that in mind as we move forward with the conversation. You're here to help.
Got quite a few problems on your hands. And the mayor hired me, along with a few other people.
Right. PI team, right? Great. As if we need any more outsiders messing with things. All right. What do you want from me?
Information, really, just about what's been going on. Any relevant records to the case?
Go talk to Connor and leave me alone.
I'm guessing that was probably the worker out front.
Yeah. He's the one who's supposed to be handling everything. Evidently not.
Got his hand.
We all do. And as he says that, like a hand comes up and like spins off the cap of the Jack Daniels, and he just kind of like tilts another swig back. Fine. What do you want to know?
I want to know who or what think is causing deaths, killings.
I don't know. I really don't. Despite what everybody in this damn town thinks, I want to know. But every single one just leaves more questions. And I know whoever the hell is doing this is just sitting out there laughing at me.
Assuming they have that degree of intelligence.
What?
Interesting tidbit. Picked up.
There's plenty of tidbits and rumors to pick up nowadays. If you want my opinion, somebody is doing this. Because an animal ain't this cruel.
Has anything in your town changed?
The mayor was voted in this year. He's a good guy, though. That's why I supported him. Starting to wonder if that was a good idea. Amongst other things.
What other things?
Mayor's been pushing this holiday Festivus bullshit. You know, we used to have like a really big, cryptid community. And, Snallygaster's supposed to be nearby. It's not real. But, brought tourism. Now we've just got snow globes and paper garlands and shit.
We're getting tourism from the cryptid chasers.
Some. I mean, I get where he's coming from, I guess. Is a bunch of weirdos in town doing weird shit. I had to arrest half of them sometimes. Breaking into places they weren't supposed to be. That was something. Something other than Mr. Daniels, I guess. Something other than this.
What? Superstition. Run guy. On our way into town, we saw several 7-pointed stars. Eyes. Wards
Snally
against
stars, yeah.
Snally stars. On farms coming in town.
It's a good luck charm, you know. Keeps animals and predators away. Supposed to, anyway. Everybody around here knows it. I mean, heck. And he reaches into the drawer and pulls out his sheriff badge, and it actually has a 7-point star on it without the eye, though.
Okay. So I'm guessing I don't, like, freak out.
There is a moment where you're like,
I'm bracing for it.
Yeah, but it doesn't come.
Okay.
It's very synonymous with the town. There's gonna be a town left at Christmas. Right, things are going.
Well, do you have anything about it? Well, be able to keep that from happening.
Good luck with that, sweetheart. Get some sun. You're so fucking pale.
Sun damages the skin.
Whatever. He just sort of flumps down onto his desk. Hey. You do catch the son of a bitch that did this? Shoot him for me.
Your thing, Sheriff.
Flumps.
Flip back out the door.
When you open the door, how much do you open it? Like, is it apparent that he's drunk on his desk?
Oh, just enough to slip through.
Oh, okay. Well, then I wouldn't see that.
Whilst all of this is going on, though, the three of you have been working with Connor, who does introduce himself. And he does produce a stack of 12 files. And he says, okay, I think I have these in the correct order. The J-Mart ones are a little weird because they kind of happened at the same time. Dr. Ward wasn't really able to determine which one of them died first. I think they have everything. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I've been so swamped I might have misplaced something, so sorry if that's the case. But this should have, like, everything you need. Everybody's, like, out and about right now, so if you just want to, like, grab desks, he sort of gestures around the otherwise empty office space.
Yes, thank you. And Petra just starts putting crystals out on one of the desks. And grabs a
gonna
file.
start going the first file on the top. He'll start going through it.
Yeah.
After he signs, I'm sure he has to sign something.
Yep. You gotta sign for all of them.
Yep. Oh, I guess he's busy signing while they're snagging files.
Though I might actually go straight for the J-Mart one, seeing as this is the one that has been mentioned multiple times as being something that stands out.
Only 12 files?
Yes. 12 files, 12 victims.
So I guess the pair of J-Mart files then.
Okay. The J-Mart files are for Sammy Compton and Penelope White. You learn from them that they were respectively a cashier and a recently promoted manager at the local J-Mart. It's theorized that the attack happened late at night, and it's strongly considered an attack, and it's pretty easy to see why as you're looking through it. The whole front of the building is shredded. Like, windows smashed, metal, like, torn to pieces. If there was, like, a chainsaw the size of a car, it looks like it just got ripped through this building.
Is the J-Mart still cordoned off?
Yes. You could pretty easily ask Connor and learn that the scene is still cordoned off. There hasn't really been, want to build it back yet because the investigation is still ongoing.
And you mentioned that there was an explosion. Was that what caused these rents in the front of the building, or was that something? Or was
mean,
that
that-
unrelated?
That's kind of hyperbole on my part. According to Agent Coyopodal, it can't have been an explosion, but I mean, look at it. What else could do that?
So there was no trace of an explosion of some sort. No
I guess
accelerant, no gas.
No bear traps.
What?
We're just ruling out all of the
Yeah.
possibilities.
World's largest bear trap.
I mean, I think the J Mart might carry bear traps. We do get hunters out here sometimes, but
Is there shrapnel at the scene?
shrapnel?
Yeah.
From like detonation
yeah.
devices, explosives.
I don't know about that, but I mean, there was tons of evidence collected. It's in the garage. I can unlock it for you guys if you want me to.
I think that would be useful.
Yeah.
All right. He'll pull out a ring of keys and sort of flicks through it a little bit. So, Mayor's been kind of tight-lipped about why he's calling in a PI team. I mean, we've already got somebody from the FBI.
We
Okay.
also sometimes work in conjunction with the FBI.
Yes, I
They could have recommended
definitely
us.
work in conjunction with the FBI.
All right. You probably want to talk to the agent then when he gets back, yeah?
Yeah, that would be great. Fennec will produce a card and hand it. It smells
Oh.
vaguely of Slim Jims. If you just hand this over to Agent Diego, kind of, that'd be great. Coral.
Yeah, sure. Here. And he'll finish unlocking like a back door and leads you into a garage where you see a couple of police cruisers. And there is the evidence portion of it. And he leads you back there. This is where I would normally be, but we're so short-staffed nowadays they got me working up front.
We appreciate your help.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you're looking for the bodies, though, you're gonna have to head a few streets down to the morgue.
Question.
And who would we inquire with at the morgue?
Dr. Ellen Ward. She's the one in charge of autopsies.
Got it.
I have a question. Why is everybody so like they don't like outsiders here? I mean, I'm used to it.
Well, I mean, it used to be outsiders were just like a thing that happened, you know, and all the cryptid hunters coming out here.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know, Mayor moved in, Mayor Compton
Mm.
started making changes, which don't tell anybody, but I'm kind of agnostic about it. Doesn't change my job.
Yes.
Isn't that one of the victims' last names too, Compton?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
His
Sammy's
son.
The mayor's son was killed.
And that's
So
the
That was in the-
explosion.
people didn't like the outsiders because mayor is outsider? This makes no sense to me.
Well,
Voted him in.
The mayor's been changing the culture of the town a little bit, it sounds like.
But
That's
like,
not necessarily well received in places.
okay.
mostly with the folks who farm on the outskirts. I mean, Main Street's been doing great.
Okay.
What's going
alright.
on? How is it affecting the folks on the outskirts then?
Well, you know, they used to, you know, get some free publicity, like 15 minutes of fame. They'd come up with some new evidence that they could show to, I don't know, KTV or whatever was out for the week.
Mm.
You know, it was something to do.
Doesn't
grew
Lance
up with
Cash
that.
produce that show?
Pays
don't know.
attention to show producers. It just seems like all they do is spend money. They don't even do anything. They just throw money at things and tell you what you can and can't do. Like having a boss. That's why you work for yourself. You throw your own money.
Okay.
I don't know. I just watch Wheel of Fortune in my off time.
That's fair.
But yeah, these 6 bins here and the 6 bins over there are going to be the ones you're looking for.
Any evidence of note that's stuck out at the scenes?
I mean, depends on which one you're talking about.
Let's start with the dual murders at the J Mart.
Evidence-wise? I mean, I guess there was Sammy's car. That's the only one where they're... And I guess that's the only one that's really had some significant property damage in it.
What happened to Sammy's car?
It was, like, crushed.
Like by something?
I don't know.
From the side or from the top?
I mean, I'm going to stress here this is conjecture. I'm not part of the crash team. We've sent it out to a lab out of town for analysis, but if you ask me, it looks like... You ever, like, taken a piece of paper and just kind of, like, crunched it? Like, in between your fingers?
Yeah.
It looked like that, but with metal. It was wild looking. I figured something must have hit it from, you know, the explosion, but forensics said they didn't find any sort of, like, pieces of debris in it.
Interesting.
But, I mean, you can read more about it in the file if you want to.
No, of course.
And like I said, the car's out of town. I can put in a call for that if you guys want to check on that, I guess. Sorry, we would have had things prepared for you, but it's just been a shit show around here.
Well, why don't we examine the evidence that we have currently before we go tracking down something that may or may not be of use to our investigation right now.
Yeah, alright. I'll get some chairs out here. You guys can just set up. Just, don't touch anything else, please. And, of course, you know, sign off on everything you handle. Use gloves.
Of course.
And, for the love of God, don't spill coffee on anything. I did that once, and they almost had my ass for it.
Yep.
Okay.
And I imagine, Sarah, at this point, you probably get guided by Connor to the back where everyone else is investigating about. So, for the sake of simplicity here, you all can look through the cases. And I do actually have a list of victims here. And you all can choose whether or not you want to dig deeper into any of these cases. It sounds like you already want to dig deeper into the J-Mart case.
Yeah, if only because it's the only one with a double murder.
The latest one, because we were just at that scene.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, let's go ahead and say Fennec. Go ahead and roll me investigate a mystery.
Okay. Do I happen to know the medical examiner, Dr. Ward, at all?
No, you do not know her by name.
Morgue people were in my naked city choices.
Oh, that's true. Okay, in that case, you allow me to amend that then. You have never met her. You probably know
Heard of her?
Yeah, you know the title Dr. Ward.
Oh no, I got a 4.
Oh dear.
I'm not finding anything.
Yeah.
I'm too busy, like, with my coffee, trying to sober up a little bit. I work better drunk, apparently.
So you sort of go through the J-Mart case, and it is a wild case. First of all, the speculation that is in the case is that this must have happened late at night, because reportedly no one really heard anything. The J-Mart is apparently located a little ways off Main Street in an area that doesn't really have foot traffic unless it's like business hours.
Right.
And no one seems to have really heard anything, or at least no one reported anything. So the hypothesis is that the two of them were attacked in some way, around the time that they would have been finishing up in the store, which probably should have had someone hear something, but no one's really certain when they left the store, so it's a little speculative. It's hypothesized that Sammy was the first killed, because he was found a ways away in the parking lot.
Okay. By his car.
Meanwhile, Penelope was actually found in the store. And on top of the usual strange wounds, she also had shrapnel from the store sort of embedded in her.
That's weird.
Question.
Mhm.
So the rents in the front of the store, was there a determination if it was going in, they were going inwards or outwards? Like,
I
where
would
was
say
the
with-
initial force applied?
I would say with the roll of 4, there isn't really a note of it, and it's kind of hard to tell from the pictures. You'd probably have to go investigate the scene directly.
You might have better luck, and we can go investigate too.
Yeah.
There's just too much information. I haven't read a case file in a while. I'm gonna go get some more coffee.
And spike it.
Petra's gonna go through and look through. She puts some gloves on and just starts looking through all the evidence, like the actual physical evidence, for anything that might look like it was from whatever did this, like a
Okay.
tooth or a claw or a
Piece of
whatever
metal.
piece of metal,
A whole bear
shrapnel, a whole ass bear trap,
A scale, a feather, who knows?
a scale, a feather with a scale.
Once again, go ahead and roll investigate a mystery.
All right. And that's sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 9.
A 9. All right. So that would get you to hold 1, unless someone wants to potentially try to help out here.
I will try and help out here.
All right. So
If-
that's going to be rolling plus cool.
oh shit.
I am not cool.
It's not like mask where you can just do that.
I was
We don't
under
have-
the impression this was like
I
math.
can't
We don't have
spend
a
a team
team
to
pool.
help
don't have
out.
team.
You have no
Oh.
team. Oh no.
You could use luck.
That doesn't matter. That was a 10.
Okay. So with that, you grant them a +1 to their roll. No issue. All right, so that gets you up to a 10, Petra, which means you get to hold 2 and ask 2 out of the evidence here.
All right. So,
So if you're looking for evidence of the creature, I would perhaps suggest what sort of creature is it?
yeah, what sort of creature is it?
Okay.
A flying bear trap.
With
This
skilled feathers
Now we guessed
and an
it.
eyeball.
So you start with the J-Mark case.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot. Like, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's filed as, like, one case, but you realize it's got 2 tubs just to hold, like, all the pieces of metal they recovered from the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, it's just like, you're not finding anything in here. It's just a jumble of bags and metal.
Mm-hmm.
So you start looking through some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And you eventually get to the first case, which the victim in that was Dean Mann, who was a local town handyman.
Mm-hmm.
There's relatively lesser evidence on this. It's clear that at the time there was not as much focus on this case.
Mm-hmm.
But the contents of his pockets are there,
Mm-hmm.
and included in it is a keychain that does have that strange scaled feather that you saw in your vision on it.
I'm
And-
gonna yoink it.
You're gonna try to steal it?
Yeah.
I take note of the scent of this feather, seeing as I'm helping her.
Okay. Well, if you're gonna try to steal this,
I don't
Because-
know which one this is, but I think maybe act under.
I was about to say,
Pressure?
I do believe this is act under pressure because Connor does not want you taking evidence.
Yeah. Let's try 10. use the titty trap move. All right. Actor under pressure is cool. All right. So I got a 7.
Okay. Hmm. All right. I will say that you can manage to get away with this keychain now, but given the fact that Connor seems to be particularly watchful of the evidence, you are fairly certain he will notice later and may do something about it at that point. So you could swipe it now for potential issues later down the line, or you could just leave it.
Sounds like a future problem to me.
Yeah, future Petra does not care. Wait, future Petra cares. Now Petra is fine with this.
Fine.
It's fine. They can't be mad when we solve the case.
We'll see.
Little.
The ends justify the means.
You're gonna swipe it?
Do they?
I
In
think
her
it's-
mind, they do.
Making a case passed out. It's fine.
And-
This is a human.
Yeah. She's not going to examine it till they leave, though.
Okay. So you managed to swipe
Because
the
she
keychain.
pocketed that shit.
Meanwhile, Sarah, you are also there. You may investigate as you see fit.
Sarah's pretty convinced that the monster they're looking for is this Snallygaster. So I don't know if there's anything I could do here in this moment, but she would want to try and figure out if there is someone in this town who might be able to control this thing, or a group of people, like a cult. So I don't know if that's like that's something she could do now, or if that would be a later thing.
I'd say this is kind of the wrong spot to do that. This is more the physical evidence of the murders.
Yeah.
The killings, as it were. But that's certainly something to keep in the back of your mind. Maybe try that elsewhere.
Yeah, I think for now, she's probably just hanging out, watching everyone else do their work, not lifting a finger.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. All right. But after a while, y'all are fairly certain you're not going to be able to get much more than what you've already learned without going out into the field. And around that time, you all, from the spot in the back, can hear the front door open. And you hear Connor, sort of faintly, "Oh, Agent Koyapodal, those investigators the mayor mentioned, they're in the back." And you hear boots on concrete as a tall, burly man in what could be described as a combination between like a cowboy getup and a suit sort of steps around the corner.
Okay. I have to ask, because I always do, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is he?
Solid 9.5.
Yeah.
Shit. Ah, shit.
And he sort of sees the four of you huddled around the evidence and cocks an eyebrow.
I think Cassandra looks up immediately upon hearing him walk into the room. Is like, "Oh, Diego, darling. Fancy seeing you here."
Cassandra.
And like also greets him very casually.
Petra's
Diego.
gonna stammer. Oh, hello. I'm Petra. I'm Independent contractor. Work with the FBI a lot. I don't think we met.
We haven't, but I know of y'all's reputation. Nice to see you.
How long have you guys been involved in this town, I guess?
A few weeks now. It's a special assignment from the office.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is. Mr. Cooper, was it?
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, I
Cooper.
remember when you started.
Do you now?
Oh, yeah.
Junior?
He's like
Rookie.
a little older.
Rookie?
He just doesn't address him as rookie. He's just casual with the
He's
the
just
first
faking it.
names.
Well, glad to see you're keeping busy in your retirement.
Yeah. There's always something out there.
Indeed there is. I see y'all are busy, so perhaps the two of us can catch up as they're finishing up? He sort of
Yes.
says, making eyes at Cassandra.
Oh, of course, Diego. Went and left me in DC.
I do apologize, but duty calls.
Of course. Can fill me in on what you found out so far, seeing as it seems we'll be working very closely together.
We'll see. He extends a hand.
Oh, we'll see.
She's gonna leave you for a hot vampire mama, mister.
I
Like
feel like
2.5.
she doesn't necessarily take the hand, but she will follow.
And he'll escort you out of the building, sort of tips his hat to Connor as he walks past. He'll be back in a moment. Sort of leads you around the side of the building. And in a way you're familiar to, the facade sort of drops a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I asked you to stay in DC for me, Lamb.
Well, you know I'm a curious being. And it was getting so lonely.
Oh, you had to go and make this complicated for me. No, more complicated.
You know it's my job to help. It's what
Oh,
you
I
keep me
know.
around for.
And I do love you for that. You are ever so helpful.
I do my best.
Compton had to go and hire y'all.
He had a way of sniffing us out, it would appear.
Don't suppose I can convince you to set this one aside and let me handle it?
I feel like you would have to have a very good reason for me to step aside.
It's pack business, darling. And you know how we wolves get.
I
Intentions
do.
are high.
But you also know how I get when my interest is piqued. Not the kind to just let something go. Not when I want it.
You and I are having a rendezvous later. I hope you realize that.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't have come all this way if I didn't expect it.
Right. Well,
I'll walk delicately, I promise. No exposing secrets that aren't mine to expose.
it's appreciated. And I hope you extend the same courtesy to my brother who's been caught up in this.
I will keep that in mind.
Just perhaps let poor old Sammy have his rest, eh?
I do not plan to expose secrets that are not mine. But I also do plan to follow where my case will lead.
Just know then that he was one of us.
I appreciate the extra information. I will guard it and keep it safe.
He sort of nods. Beyond that, afraid as I am to say, I don't know much more than the coppers in there. This one's proven slippery.
Well, this team may have a few abilities that seem to suss out the slippery, at least from what I've seen so far.
So I've heard.
They might have an unorthodox way of going about it, but they seem to be gathering things that have been missed by those who would dismiss that what they think is impossible.
Well, I know you don't have any problem with that.
No, but I found that people like me are special cases.
Especially indeed.
I think Cassandra blushes a little bit and gives him a quick peck on the cheek.
He does not let you get away with a peck. He sort of catches your chin and goes in for a full kiss.
Of course he does. And now,
Well.
let's be careful, lest we get caught.
Well, for later then.
There. I do believe you have a colleague to catch up with.
Indeed. Though,
Sure.
before I go, little legwork has revealed little something.
Oh,
You might want to pay attention to what the victims did for a living. I'm not sure yet, but I think there might be a connection there.
I'll keep that in mind.
Got a few more places of business to visit, but I got a theory in the works.
I'll turn my eye to that. See what my talents can dig up a little bit.
In the meanwhile, me and the boys will be hunting. Just, stay inside after dark.
Of course.
Take care, my little lamb.
I always do.
And he saunters off.
I think she gives a few minutes before she follows behind, making sure like anything that got ruffled or anything is straightened out.
But yeah, by the time Cassandra gets back, y'all have pretty much finished up with the evidence. So where would y'all like to head from here?
Check out the J-Mart.
Do we want to do the J-Mart or do we want to do the morgue?
The morgue's probably attached to this or the hospital.
Because I know
Yeah, the
morgue's
morgue is
also
probably closer.
Yeah, we should probably. I don't mean just, especially because body evidence can decay quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I would say at this point it's starting to get later in the day, so this is probably the last location you're going to be able to visit today.
Yeah,
Before
that's
they
the morgue.
leave, Petra's gonna ask Connor, is there a place to get like drinks and like where the people socialize at night?
Oh yeah,
Music, booze,
Snallygaster Brewery. It's 7 blocks down. Can't miss it.
Ah, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go anywhere without checking out the local gossip at the tavern, right?
yeah, that's true.
But y'all are headed to the morgue.
Mhm.
Probably.
All right. The morgue is a relatively unremarkable building. If it weren't for the fact that it kind of says town morgue on the side of it, you probably wouldn't even know that it is a morgue. It's been more obvious once you step inside. The place is friggin' cold. Like, even for some places trying to preserve physical evidence, it just feels like way too cold in here. And it's relatively dimly lit. You imagine that whoever's remaining here is probably packing up for the night. But you do hear sounds of movement in the back. There's no receptionist at the desk, but there is a bell you could ring. But it also doesn't seem like anything stopping you from just kind of like walking in.
Fennec just walks right in.
Just walk in, yeah.
All right.
Like we own the
Knock
place.
on like a wall as we enter.
I mean, I feel like one of us could ring the bell as we walk by the desk.
Ding! Walk to the back.
All right.
I feel like Cassandra has just given to wearing the badge at her hip because we're at the point that we're going into a lot of places that need this identification.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fennec has his on his suit jacket.
Nice.
Petra has hers in a bag that has a bunch of crystals in it, so she has to like dig it out every time. It's very
The
not
other side is
efficient.
Slim Jims. One side is bad, one side is Slim Jims.
Accidentally pulls the wrong side and it's just Slim Jims.
You just bribed
My
me with
bad.
a
Do you want
Slim Jim.
one?
And as long as we're describing this, Sarah, where do you got yours?
I probably have a little like side purse with the snap, so it's probably in my little purse.
Nice. Okay. And you said you ring the bell as you enter, Cassandra?
Yeah, she probably brushes it as we enter.
All right. In that case, as Fennec, you said you were entering first, so you would probably see this first. As you enter, you see the operating room, where cadavers are sort of looked over here. And at the far end, there is a tall woman in lab coat and smock, who sort of is setting aside surgical tools as you walk in. She has a Mediterranean complexion, long dark hair that's sort of like done up into a braid. And as she turns around, she just has this like piercing gaze that almost like seems to look through you. As she says, "Yes, can I help you?"
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is she?
Depending upon your tastes, 10 to a 9.
Nice.
Nice, nice.
Dr.
Wood, I presume?
Yes.
Fennec
Dr.
Cooper,
Eleanor.
private investigator. I'm here on behalf of the mayor and the FBI to investigate the strange happenings happening around.
She sort of
Namely the murders and namely the murders.
She sort of narrows her eyes, and then like spots the badge.
Yeah, he does a quick flash of the badge.
Well, I was just
of the badge.
There's the
There's
badge.
an
Here's
eyebrow
the
at
shirt.
that.
And then he's like, it's cold in here.
I see.
Buttons his shirt up.
Well, I was just finishing up for the night, but I suppose I can answer a few questions. And you, as you're walking forward, you get a closer look at the body. You presume it's a woman's body, but it is very heavily burned.
Was this the power line victim?
Yes, dear Miss Buchanan. It's a shame. I liked her scarves.
Yeah, she liked to knit. I saw that.
She
Heard
sold
that
them
about her.
professionally.
Christmas a big time for her.
She was very much in support of the mayor's recent decisions to focus more on the commercialized holiday. Personally, I have no interest in it.
What about the rest of the
Victim?
victims? Were they also in support of the Christmas movement?
From what little I knew of some of them, I would suppose it was arranged. They were certainly all affected by it.
How?
She like goes up to like the line of body coolers and takes like trying to think of the word, like a tongue depressor of sorts, like grabs it off of her desk and goes down the line. First victim, Dean Mann. He was a local handyman. He was in charge of putting up the recent Christmas decorations. Axel Jacobs wasn't too involved in things, mostly kept to himself. He was the one outlier here, but he very much was against the, I suppose you can call it, Christmasification. Greta Tate owned a local bakery. She was very keen on selling peppermint pastries. I'm led to understand they were her favorite, and judging from her stomach contents, they were the reason she was diabetic. Lucille Rush. She was against the matter, but of course the bank took to it wholeheartedly, so she was forced to don an elf getup. Tragically, the last thing she wore. Killian House owned a local convenience store, was keen to put up his own decorations for the holiday. And then, of course, and she sort of taps two in the middle, Sammy Compton and Penelope White, the cases that brought this to the public attention. Edward Lopez owned a local grocery store, was already getting in shipments of, what are those things called? The plants with the red leaves.
Poinsettias.
Yes, poinsettias, sorry. Thomas Ball was another manager at the same convenience store, though he was against the whole business, but again, his superiors had him enhancing the atmosphere, had him playing as Santa.
They worked at the same convenience store but had separate desks. Unlike
Correct.
the previous two who worked at the same venue.
Yes. Sammy and Penelope were close, as I'm led to believe. If I had to wager a guess, I would say they died at about the same time.
But they were found, like, feet away from each other. Like, she was inside, he was outside.
Correct.
So that would have to be multiple attackers.
Potentially. It's hard to tell. The science of time of death is often more of an art. If deaths are close enough together, it can be difficult to discern who came first.
Are there any commonalities in the cause of death between these victims?
Yes. They all either died from internal hemorrhaging or external hemorrhaging, and severe blunt trauma. Which ones perished from which depends, though their locations are all intriguing.
Do you have?
I was just about to ask different locations for each blunt force trauma.
Yes, in regards to the bodies, but I meant more where they were recovered from. She sort of gestures to Miss Buchanan on the table. You obviously can see the results of trying to recover Miss Buchanan's body from the power line.
Have they all been recovered from high places, or is there some other? Obviously, the two involved in the J Mart were not, but
Well, you've read over the case files, yes?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Then it's worth noting that there's a detail in there that makes me question where they were found. And she'll sort of hold out a hand, and it takes you all the moment to realize that she's asking for the case file.
Did we bring them with us?
I would presume so.
Did we?
I
If
don't
we were
know. I
allowed to,
didn't.
we would have.
Yeah, I didn't know we
Yeah.
were allowed to take.
You were allowed
them.
to.
Yeah,
Fennec would have.
okay.
Oh yeah, he signed for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she takes Sammy's case file and sort of like flips through it. Obviously already knows where everything is in this case file. And she points to a picture of where Sammy's body was located. And she says, "Look at this." And she taps a light pole that's sort of near his body. And there is a smear of blood on top of the light pole.
Was a sample of that smear ever collected?
Yes, and it was confirmed to be his blood. Though, obviously, it's impossible to confirm if he expired up there, or if he was left up there and fell at a later time. But it would be in keeping with the rest. Beyond that, Miss White was the only other outlier, but of course she was the only one found indoors.
Everybody else was outside.
Where was she found? Where was she found indoors?
She was in the J Mart, but like in relation
Inside
to
the J Mart.
Yeah, which aisle?
Yeah, where in the J Mart was she found?
Was it the Christmas? Was it the Christmas aisle?
No, I believe it was towards the front of the store.
Towards where there would be windows if we had a fast-moving air attacker.
Where the blunt force trauma, was that post-mortem? Would you be able to tell if it was post-mortem or if it was cause of death?
Perimortem?
Yeah, perimortem.
I think you said that it was different depending on the individual.
Yeah, it's also sometimes it's hard to tell. You can choke somebody right after
Yeah.
they die, and it'll leave
Yeah.
marks, leading
Can
people to think they were
you-
choked.
Have you determined, based off of the blunt force injuries, the cause of the shape of the item causing such injuries?
Roughly. To go back to your initial question, and I would perhaps recommend that you do not talk over one another, it's rather infuriating. In regards to the blunt force trauma, most of it was pre-mortem, though there is, again, an interesting outlier. The second victim, Axel Jacobs, he was struck repeatedly with something after his death. Long, relatively narrow, approximately yay around. I would say it was a handle for something, potentially.
Perhaps a candy cane?
Potentially, but it would be a very large candy cane.
Oh, decorative candy canes.
Yes, like decoration for Christmas.
But he is the only one I've seen such post-mortem strikes on.
Hmm.
As for the shape of the object, that is difficult to determine. The wounds are mangled in such a way that an exact shape is difficult to discern. I would roughly describe it as a wedge. If you force me to give a description, I'd say a wedge of blades.
Like shaped sort of like a claw.
No, not like a claw.
Hmm.
I would say more. Are you familiar with the myth of the rook?
The what?
The myth of the rook. Inspiration behind the rook in chess.
Is it the flying bird? Giant.
Hmm.
Bird supposedly the size of an elephant.
Hmm.
If I had to compare it to anything, I would say it is akin to the beak of a rock.
Were all of the victims, did they all die in the nighttime? I feel like in the daytime you would see a lot like giant bird. You know, if it was giant bird.
She sort of like glances down the line of freezers, sort of like thinking. Potentially. Though again, there are a few outliers.
Well, like some might have been like Miss Buchanan was far out in the country, so like not maybe as many people out there to see.
She likely was abducted at night. The last place she was seen was at her store on Main Street.
Oh.
Though given the distance, one has to wonder what befell her in the intervening time.
Nothing good.
Obviously.
Obviously.
But again, we come.
Petra's gonna wink at that. At her at that.
She just kind of stonewalls you.
Yep.
Damn it.
But again, we come to the three who have been outliers thus far. Mr. Axel Jacobs had begun to putrefact slightly when he was found, implying that he had perished some hours earlier before his discovery. And then Mr. Compton and Miss White, well, they were found early in the morning, but per their schedules in the office, they should have left relatively soon in the evening, so they should have had more signs of putrefaction. Though I suppose it is worth noting with them that there were signs of coitus. So it is possible, though obviously something I cannot rule, that they stayed after hours, as it were.
That was
Fair.
going to be my thought.
Yep. Does the current timeline for Axel Jacobs line up with does it, because you said he has had more decomposition than anticipated, does that imply he was missing longer than was initially reported?
Hard to say. As I mentioned, Mr. Jacobs was a bit of a recluse. He was enthusiastic on local superstitions. You would probably get more information from his brother, John Jacobs. He works as the janitor in the mayor's office.
Ah,
I
yes.
was wondering about
I
that.
I do believe I've met him. Is there
Yeah.
something wrong with his face?
Rude expression, rude
Yes.
mannerisms,
Yes.
repulsive man.
Yes. Agreed.
Did you
The
have any
out
other
of character urge to say wretched man thing
Wretched man.
Appreciate it.
Well, maybe we take all this information and we can get some dinner and
We can
like
sleep on it.
get maybe get some drinks. Looks at the doctor for a minute.
Oh.
He sort of like looks at the four of you, and if you do want to try to convince her to invite you over, go ahead and roll manipulate someone.
Yes. That's charm, right?
Mm-hmm.
9.
9.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm
Under
really tempted to
under normal
assist this.
under normal circumstances, this would be that they'll do it under some condition, but these are not normal circumstances. I guess y'all aren't really familiar with the system, are you?
No.
A little bit.
I'm
I've played-
familiar
I've played
enough to
3 games before.
guess what the circumstance is.
Yeah, a fair guess. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, this is not going to actually work. I appreciate the offer, but my company for the evening has already been selected, as it were.
Alrighty then. Well, nice meeting you. Probably not see you again, but whatever.
No, you never
Good night.
Well, if we have more
Arr.
questions, we know where to find you. Thank you for your time, Doctor.
It's
You're
a
welcome.
pity we couldn't spend more with you, but I do understand. Enjoy your evening.
He sort of narrows her eyes at you, Cassandra. You as well. And at this point, it's pretty late into the night. I'll say we can just sort of hand wave y'all getting a place to stay, unless y'all have a specific scene you'd like to play out.
The only thing I want to do is I want to examine this feather keychain.
Okay.
And I want to determine if it's a real one, and then I'd like to use my tune in ability, so I can attune to my mind to a monster. If I roll on weird, a 10 plus, I get to ask 3 questions. On a 7 through 9, I get 1. And let me see. On a miss, the monster becomes aware of me.
I'll say we'll pick that up at the Snallygaster Tavern then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Y'all have gotten a table, and have gotten like some food.
Mhm.
You see that the mayor is indeed correct in regards to the description of the Snallygaster. It is quite a depiction of this creature. If you can imagine the body of a dragon with bird wings and a birdish head that terminates in a beak full of sharp teeth.
I think that's our
Lovely.
jaws.
And most notably, the creature only has a singular eye in the middle of its forehead.
Ding,
And
ding, ding.
a series of tentacles spilling out of the beak.
That's terrifying. Okay.
Siri, shut up.
Appreciate that is now in your search history, though. For the record.
I gotta switch off Siri.
Could be worse. Promise.
Yes.
But yeah, the Snallygaster is quite an ugly beastie.
Yeah.
And as you're sort of sitting around the table, Petra, you pull out the keychain.
Mhm.
Did any of you notice / care that Petra stole this?
Cassandra did.
I noticed. Did I care? Not necessarily.
Fedek was busy with his coffee.
It
If he noticed,
sounds
he
like
probably
Sarah wouldn't
Connor's
care.
problem.
yeah, he probably wouldn't care.
All right.
Sarah.
Not
Well,
his paperwork.
inspecting it, Petra, you learn pretty quickly this more has the appearance of a feather. It's strange. It's more similar to like something akin to a shed lizard scale, with it being sort of like light and papery.
Does
It has. Sorry, go ahead.
does it remind me of what I dreamed about?
It does very much.
That's why I wanted to take it.
That's the only reason.
And as you sort of inspect it and turn it, it has this weird refraction in the light that almost seems to make it like shift colors some.
Iridescence to it.
Mhm.
Or is it a light bending property to it as to why we haven't seen this thing?
Hard to say.
That's
Hmm.
strange guess.
Don't like that.
But you said you're going to try to attune to it?
Yeah.
All right.
I
Go
just
ahead
thought
and
that the feather might help me. I don't know. It doesn't say I need it, but I just felt like it might help me.
That's fine.
It
It's
might
as
help
good
with the
enough a
vibes.
One as any to give it a shot. And I
Yeah.
would also throw this out here, Sarah. If you wanted to try to do something similar in regards to sensing what magic may be influencing this, if you believe it is from the monster,
Oh yeah.
might be a time to try.
Sure.
I rolled an 11.
Hot dang.
Yeah.
So what does that do for you?
So I get to ask 3 questions on this list of 5 questions. So I want to know where the creature is right now.
Okay. You sort of focus in. I kind of imagine you like pull out a crystal and sort of like
Mm-hmm.
wave it over this thing, sort of
Oh,
getting
yes.
the reading.
Yeah.
And an image starts to form in your head. You see wood, hay, animal bones. There's the smell of mildew and dried blood in the air.
Hmm?
And slowly it crystallizes into this image of, I think, a barn house.
Okay.
And you hear a click as the door starts to shift, but you unfortunately lose the connection briefly.
Okay. My next one is who is it going to attack next?
Okay. You reach out your mind again, but instead of connecting to the monster, you feel a flash of emotion from elsewhere. From City Hall. From the mayor. Somehow you just know the mayor's next.
How can I attract its attention?
You cast your mind over the case files.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you were not paying attention much to them. You keep on seeing that familiar Christmas iconography on every single one of the victims in some way. And it just clicks into your mind as you have this brief connection to the monster. Christmas.
I gotta get in the Christmas spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck.
Oh,
Where roads lead to home for the holidays.
God damn it.
Oh, that sucks.
Not
I
even
promised I'd
Halloween yet.
behave. but
We can't have Christmas before Halloween. What kind of nonsense is this?
Wasn't the mayor pushing the Christmas agenda?
Mhm.
yes.
Ah.
He's getting attacked because he doesn't have any Christmas spirit. God, guy acts like his son's dead. Jeez. That's not very Christmas of you.
So Petra opens her eyes and she's like, we gotta go to the mayor, like right now. I'm pretty sure he's going to be eaten by a bird with tentacles coming out of its face.
But we just ordered those really big pretzels with beer cheese.
Get it to go. We gotta go get the mayor.
I guess I'm tonight. That's fine. Let's go see the mayor.
He is paying us, so it would not be great if the guy paying us dies. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
And unfortunately, I don't know how to contact backup. So yeah, we should definitely go.
You have
Okay.
backup? What backup?
I think the agent's a little busy right now. It's after dark. He said he's a little tied up
Is that your boyfriend or something?
or something.
All right, I won't even ask. That's your business, to be honest. Anyways, let's go save Mayor from death.
Before we get to that, though, Sarah,
Yeah.
I'll say you can sort of join in this impromptu pseudo seance.
Mm-hmm.
So remind me what you were looking to do specifically to test on this.
I mean,
Keep talking. I got a hair in my eye.
I was gonna mainly try and figure out if this feather was. Well, I guess we don't really know what creature it is, so I would like to know if this feather and the monster attacking the town is the Snallygaster.
Okay.
So what do you mean? We know it's a Snallygaster.
Obviously.
Well, we've also had a rock brought up though.
That's fair.
But you had mentioned previously, like, trying to figure out if this creature was being influenced by something, yeah?
Yeah, like if
By, like, a
I
cult.
mean, if it was doing things of its own volition, or if there was also someone who was
Okay.
like a cult presence that was influencing it.
We'll say you can probably try to shoot for one or both of those, depending upon your role, with use magic.
Cool.
Just add a little glitter to it and see what Hollywood magic we can cook up.
I rolled double sixes, so that's a 15.
Yay!
Ooh.
Hot dang. Okay. So yeah. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
The best it's gonna be ever.
I'll say this falls under observe another place or time.
Okay.
So sort of following Petra's lead, you reach out with your own magic, which I don't know if you had a particular flavor for this.
Not really. I think it maybe my eyes glaze over and I look much more like still and dull like than I normally do.
Okay.
More porcelain.
Much more
Okay.
porcelain, yeah. So eyes are kind of like glazed and unseeing, and my skin takes that little bit of
Sheen.
ceramic sheen.
All right. So as you focus in, you kind of end up focusing on the feeling that that 7-pointed star gave you, that like pseudomagnetic repulsion, and just sort of through the ether around you, you just sort of extend feelers for that same sort of feeling, and you do connect with something. Whatever you connect with, it is not as intelligent as you. You can tell that right away. That's not to say that it's stupid. You can feel thoughts, but definitely alien thoughts, even to you. And you do feel like a sensation of wanting freedom, of undergoing coercion, of fear. You don't know if you connected to the Snallygaster, but you're fairly certain that whatever you connected with is the monster that's doing this, and it doesn't want to do it.
Okay.
It is somehow being forced.
You just go very still for a few minutes. And then I like sit up abruptly. Like, well, shit, looks like we have a cult on our hands.
I know it. It's always a cult. Goddamn cult. With the bird and the tentacles. Of course it's a fucking cult.
And it is about this time that Petra sort of comes out of her trance as well and is like, oh, mayor's in danger. Going to the mayor.
We gotta go to the mayor now. I hope we know where he lives. It's a farmhouse. I think. Or
We
that
maybe
was...
split our resources and have some people go protect the mayor while the rest of us find who's doing this.
Shit. I think that splitting the party is a great idea. Let's do it.
I can make a call, see if we can't get any cops down to the mayor's house.
Yeah, because
they
they
might,
seem to
they're,
have
they're
very
gonna be able to get there
competent
faster.
offices. Well, yeah. Let's maybe like you call the drunk sheriff guy and the drunk useless sheriff. I mean, if you're going to drink, be useful when you drink, right? And maybe get them down there, find address so we can be down there to help. Maybe Cassandra and Sarah can try to find Colt and infiltrate.
Sounds fun. Speaking though, with this plan, do I need to roll bond abuse right now, Crow? Because I am directly going against what I was told to do.
Yeah.
I'm being a
believe
brat
so.
today.
Full brat here.
Brat out, girl. Get it.
So, oh, we fine. That's a 14.
Okay,
Oh, jeez, yeah.
You good.
Okay.
You get,
I'm gonna
you get the impression Diego will understand.
use whichever one is more fitted for this, either the Naked City contacts or Out of the Past. Both are the same. How big is this favor, basically?
Given it's the mayor and, one of the most important citizens in the city, I'd say it's not too terribly big of a favor to be like,
Okay.
hey, mayor's in danger, go protect mayor.
Yeah, I'll use Naked City for a small favor with the local police.
All right.
Get the address too so we can go there.
Yeah.
All right. Mayor's address is pretty well public knowledge.
Main Street.
That's stupid.
And I would say, as you call into some of the local authorities, they're kind of surprised. He just called us.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
He received a threat.
Well, we
Is
better
this
get
the
over
first
there double
individual
quick.
to have received a threat?
Assume so. No one else has reported one.
Was it a phone call or a letter?
Letter. Kind of cliche one too, where they snip up like magazines.
Give me that letter.
Well, we've got officers at his place now. Once we get it to the precinct, it's all yours.
No, we need to go to the mayor's house.
Hold it up. the mayor's house will do some investigation on site.
Yeah. What Cassandra said.
We want to split. 2 go to the precinct. 2 go to the mayor's house.
Yeah.
Well, if the letter's currently at the mayor's house, we might as well all go to the mayor's house.
Yeah, let's all
And
go to the mayor's
And
house.
then I can get the letter and see if I can figure out who the letter's from, and that could give us a tip on where to go. Find
Or if
the cult.
the mayor is playing and saying that he got a letter when he himself created it.
Yeah.
All right. Mayor's house is decently large. It's not super extravagant, but it's like a nice farmhouse. Doesn't actually have a farm attached. It's just kind of a farmhouse style.
Do I recognize it at all?
No, you do not.
No. Okay.
And whole place is lit up. You walk inside, and the mayor is in his pajamas with his wife, and we'll say he has a son. The 2 of them are kind of seated on the couch, and he's just like pacing back and forth. And you do see both the sheriff and Agent Coyapodal are present. And they're both looking over a bit of paper. Oh, you heard the news?
No, I felt the news.
Miss Petra had a premonition that there was going to be problems here in this place.
Yeah.
Can you
What?
see that?
Oh, I see. Sure, doll.
Doll.
Petra chokes a little when he says that. Yeah. Yes, doll.
All right, so you look it over.
Yes.
And true to what the officer that you called into Fennec said, it is very much like a kidnappery, like snipped up magazines sort of deal. And it says, "Keep the parade on, or else you are next."
Ooh.
I would like to use magic to... I imagine this is probably observe another place or time to figure out who sent this.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
Come on, double 6s. Ooh, that's a 12.
Dang, why did I give you guys luck?
On fire tonight.
And
We're
we haven't even
not
used
using
any.
it.
It's only because my weird is so good.
Yeah.
Goodness. All right, so yeah, view another place or time. Okay, so again, with a little psychometry, you sort of cast your mind back to the assembly of this letter. And unfortunately, you cannot see a face. You can see a pair of hands. Heavily calloused, clearly well used. You presume a man's hands, given the thickness and, I guess, strength behind them. As they're sort of assembling this letter slowly, you do notice that the hands are moving slowly and they're heavily wrinkled, clearly belonging to someone of advanced age.
Investigate all the old crone's husbands.
The sheriff is not old enough.
No, he's like 45-ish.
There is a crotchety
Do
old janitor.
I was gonna say, do these hands look like the hands of the janitor that we ran into in the hallway?
John Jacob?
They could belong to the
Jingleheimer?
janitor.
Why would he let his own brother die?
Because he hates the brother. Maybe he was going to inherit all the money from parents or something. Maybe brother had life insurance policy. You never know.
I feel like there's also a lot of really old, there's probably old family farms out in the outskirts that we haven't even touched yet, though, as well.
It did appear that the what is it, the snally gag thing or whatever might be, it might be in barn somewhere.
I'll turn to the sheriff. Does John Jacobs live on a farm with a barn?
Who?
The janitor.
Tony?
At the city hall?
Oh. I don't know.
The one with the face, you know.
He's your employee.
Oh,
wait, that's the wrong accent.
Sour lemon guy. Yeah.
We keep switching accents.
I don't know, I guess. I know he doesn't live, like, in town.
Do you have a way to find his record of where he lives?
You got his W-2 or something then?
Yeah.
Or if you let us know where it is, we could just run to your office and I have a cop go check it out. That
I
would
mean,
probably
you
be-
could also probably radio the cops to have them.
Connor's there.
I was
Pull it
and I was about to say if his brother passed, he would be on file as the next of kin,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Clinical
address
just
should be there.
go outside. to
Maybe
one of the
it's in
cops
the
a car.
files that we have. Maybe files.
Oh, that's true. We do have the file.
Open file. Opens file.
We have this convenient plot device
Oh
we
my
were given.
I was sitting here like,
You have the fucking
Plot
file.
devices in our
Yeah.
campaign? No.
more likely
Yeah.
than you think.
That seems too easy. Let's do it the hard way.
Listen, it's getting late here, all right? I'm realizing I played too much.
I told you, you need to plan less than you think you'll need.
I had like 5 NPCs.
5 too many.
That was
One.
too many.
Then we'll go out to one of the cops and ask him to look up John Jacobs on their little computer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And see if it matches with the address to Axel Jacobs that we have in the case file.
It does seem to match. And with a quick map search, it is indeed on the outskirts of town. It does appear to be on Old Farmstead.
Now pull up Google Earth and stalk him from the satellite pictures.
Let's just go out there.
This is a small town cop. So I
No,
don't
on
know
his
about
own
that.
phone. Yeah, it's the same address, so they must have lived together.
Didn't Axel die possibly during the day?
Axel
He
was
was-
also one
he
of
was
the
al-
few outliers.
And he also was beat with candy cane, probably.
Or a shovel or something that had a handle.
Crowbar.
Whatever. It
Crowbar
doesn't.
painted
That
like a
could
candy cane.
be one of the few that if it would explain why he's the outlier too.
Yeah.
He might have been killed by brother.
If there was
And
a
tried to
crime of
pin it
passion
on
involved.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Or he used the creature and then just further had aggression.
I'm
That
serious.
wasn't a very friendly man that we met.
He does have like anger issues. You can tell because he like his wrinkles are like it's all scrunched in like
Do we
you know
want,
what I'm saying? Like
Do we want to split up
I
this
don't
time
know.
or all go to
well, if we
farmhouse?
leave these nice officermen here, they can probably handle big beastie that come, right? Big
Wait.
strong guys.
We stop the beast
Sure.
from coming?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a monster coming for the mayor.
It might be a Snallygaster.
It's got like a
Shut
beak
the
with.
fuck up.
No, I saw it.
All right, we're
I-
going to go save the town. And Sarah just starts walking.
Pile
up.
into the rental car. Let's go.
The sheriff just like waves it off and like shouts to the officers outside, "Don't let them back in. They're a bunch of kooks."
Petra just gives a thumbs up to the Diego officer, Agent Diego.
Yeah, and if anybody's paying attention to Diego, you can see him follow the 4 of you out as his eyes are just slowly narrowing.
Oh no. I'm in so much
And he's like,
trouble.
"What the fuck is that thing?" How does she know that?
What's pleasure.
Just knows. Right.
But yeah. It's gonna be a bit of a walk to get out to the Jacob's residence.
Let's go get a
so-
ride from
I
Connor.
was gonna say, can't we just borrow a cop car?
You're gonna
No,
need to
they-
convince them to do that.
We're just gonna go ask him. Can we get a lift out to the Jacobs estate?
All right.
Jacobs farm?
Sounds like we're gonna need to manipulate someone there, Fennec.
I have a +1 to charm. It should be
Do
fine.
you want
It will be
Cassandra
fine.
to try and convince them?
Use the titty trap.
Nope. The titty trap. This doesn't
Oh,
work.
poppycock! I rolled 2 6s.
Never mind.
Look, All Hallows Eve is our lucky day, okay?
Apparently.
Yeah.
The ghosts are in
You're
our
gonna wonder if y'all
favor.
are screwing with me.
Cassandra's like adjusting, getting ready to flirt with this dude. Fennec's like, "Hey, can we get a lift out here?" Oh yeah, sure. Hop in the car.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'll say there's like one cop who's just like, well, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
Just like
sheriff said
tosses
it
you
was
the
fine.
keys. Like doesn't even put up any
Alright.
throw of a fight.
Good job.
Fennec will drive.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Wait,
Shotgun.
no, it's not. Yes, it's taking the keys.
He will ride up front then.
Okay.
What? Who's driving? What?
Cassandra.
Cassandra's taking. He's sobered up at the police station.
Did he? But we also went out and got drinks again.
We didn't get to have our super cool beer pretzels, so
Whatever.
They're just
fine.
sitting there getting cold now.
As long as there's a sober person driving, I don't care.
it's Cassandra.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. The drive out to the farm is relatively uneventful, but eerie. The approach is through a back road that is heavily concealed through woods. If you've ever driven through like a back road in Wisconsin at night, where it's
Yeah.
just like
I
trees on
have.
either side, and you can
Weird.
just see like only down the trees, and you have
Mhm.
no clue what
I
might be
live
around
on a
you.
back road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
basically
I
that.
grew up. I grew up in the background.
In Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Michigan.
But eventually it sort of breaks
Kinda
out
the same
into a clearing that contains the farm. And you can see the farmhouse and a barn some distance behind it. The farmhouse is currently dark. You can see a light on in the barn.
Bon.
So what would you all like
that
to do?
is where the snally gas. Well, the
Did we consider what would happen if we have to confront this thing?
I was
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
Fennec will get out his
is we
video
can just
camera.
subdue him.
the monster.
No, subdue John Jacobs.
Oh yeah, I
was
can do
about to
this.
Say, I can charm some things. I don't think I can.
We can spring a
Charm
Do you
trap.
want to flirt with tentacle?
You know what? If it works, it works. So
Well, there you go. No judgments.
We can spring a trap on Mr. Jacobs. Right?
We
I
could
was
shoot
going to
him.
try to hex him. To be honest with you,
Oh, yeah, that might work.
also fair.
you said he has connection with the snally gas or whatever thing. I maybe can try to break this connection, and then maybe we just let it go live its life somewhere else. Like, please stop killing Christmas lovers. I mean, I know they're annoying, their music is awful, but you can't just go around killing them because they like Christmas, okay?
Well, it's not wanting to kill the people being ordered to.
Well, right, but like, you know, like, whatever that. The guy is the reason that this is happening, so, you know, like, he probably hates Christmas. He looks like he hates everything, including himself.
We'll need
Should
to
we
do
go
some-
confront this strange man?
Let's just go find the guy. He's probably in the barn. I
We're
guess.
trying to be sneaky.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Probably yes.
Yeah, I don't really want this thing in our face right off the bat.
Not ideal. Maybe 2 of us going one way and 2 of us going the other way.
Yeah, we can split. I don't. Would there be? There might be an entrance around the back.
There's probably. I mean, most barns have 2 doors. Like if we were to go,
Yeah. that's
you know what I'm
thinking.
saying?
That is
Also-
true.
How
Mhm.
well kept is this barn?
I've been in a lot of barns. Usually, there's more than one entrance.
Uh,
Been a lot of barn parties with.
I will say at this point it's pretty late into the night. It's a little hard to tell at a distance here. You have not really approached yet.
Well, let's just.
I was
go.
supposed to say the other thing is if it's a terribly kept barn like we've been seeing,
There
it's
might
not like
just
we
be a
can't.
Oh
hole
yeah,
in
through
there.
the through the holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say you don't see any immediately obvious holes from this distance.
Okay. Well, let's
That's
go
fine.
sneak up. Let's do the thing.
As long as we're taking off hats.
I was like, it's just irritating me so much right now.
Oh, you've got your werewolf ears under. I was like, what happened to your
Yeah.
hair, Crow? It's the ears. Love that.
The mask is a bit too much, but these I can live with.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna try and be sneaky. Do we have who goes where?
Well,
Maybe we
Who
split
goes
up the magic people and the non-magic people.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Try and that way, like if we directly confront him, I can try and like we can try and talk him down while you guys try and break the bond.
Yeah. So
Sure.
Fennec and I will go through the back, and you two go through the front. You two are good at talking to people. We're okay, but we're not like whatever.
Situational.
Yeah.
alright. Is anyone trying to approach stealthily?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Those of you who are approaching stealthily, probably only one person needs to roll for this. Who's got the highest sharp?
Oh,
I have a 1.
let me look.
The drunk guys this morning.
I have a
and I
plus
love that
1.
for us.
I have a +2.
Oh, okay.
Then between Cassandra and Fennec, one of you roll read a bad situation. And I leave it to you guys which one you want to have roll.
I feel like thematically it
Should we
makes-
each roll 1 die?
Yes.
It's
You do
the
that?
same
I love
bonus.
this.
Yeah.
I love this shit. Do it.
I think the green one's gonna have the better vibe.
Both of mine are this color, so it just
3.
oh, this is gonna be great then.
Whoops.
Because I got a 1.
Woo!
Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay.
6, but someone could try to help out and get that up to a 7.
Sure. I'll try.
Again,
10.
helping. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Your roll plus cool on that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that gets a +1 to the roll then.
Nice, nice.
Brings it up to a 7. So you can now ask one of the questions, and I'll say that roll was enough to help you guys approach stealthily.
She stops him from stepping on a twig.
There's a pile of milk pails that are just sort of
Yeah,
disused.
he's looking not in real life, but he's got his video camera out, so he's looking at the camera screen.
Yep.
Instead of real life.
And she's like,
Oh. What's a good question? Any dangers we haven't noticed?
I was about to say that seems like the most relevant one.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say, as you are approaching, there is sort of this moment where you come up to the side of the barn, all 4 of you, where you would normally split off.
Mhm.
And Fennec, you sort of are getting everything into the shot as much as you can. And you notice a window sort of higher up on the barn. And you see a shadow moving in there. You zoom in a little bit. and you recognize the sour face of John Jacobs. He has not noticed you. But you do see him loading what appears to be a hunting rifle. And then he reaches into his shirt and pulls out an amulet. The amulet is in the shape of a 7-pointed star with a diamond carved into an eye in the center. And the rest of it is made of like a glass-looking material. You haven't been in the weirdness game for a super long time, but you recognize a magic artifact when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna point that out to everybody.
I don't like the fact that he has big rifle. That makes me feel less like safe. But let's go do the thing.
I will say that description of his amulet, Petra.
Oh yeah, that's the one I saw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he lets her look, since they're like with each other, like she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I dream about that one."
You said this was a glass amulet?
It looks like it's made of glass. If you can imagine like a piece of stained glass almost, that's kind of what it looks like.
Who's our sharpshooter here?
I don't know what you roll on for sharpshooting.
38.
That would be kicking some ass.
I've got a
Plus
38 as well.
Kicking that. I think I have 1 tough.
I have a 0 tough.
I am working on a negative tough.
I have a 0.
I'm
tough.
also working on negative tough.
So me or Sarah.
Yeah, I was about to say if we want to try and shoot that off him, we could.
I don't know if I would be able to though.
What if I try this one instead? Okay. We need to get a little closer so that I can see in window. And then I try to use my my special spooky abilities to try to break make him break his amulet.
That might be easier.
Then we let the snaggle the bird thing eat him, and then we can just move on with our lives.
Do we know if this magic amulet would be able to counter other people's magic?
You do not know. Fennec just saw it through a window.
We're about to
Knew
find
nothing
out.
about it.
Okay.
We try. I'll try. Or at least maybe get him to part with it or something.
I will say, you did see him through a second-story window, so if you're going to try to look at him through the window, you're going to need some way to look.
String ourselves up.
And we don't want to go in the barn because there's the monsters in the barn.
We don't technically know what's in the barn yet, but yeah.
That is correct.
Is there a ladder nearby? Just maybe.
That might make noise. He doesn't know we're here.
We make other noise over there, and then like we, just noise everywhere.
I'm going to say no, unfortunately.
Okay.
Not really a reason to get on top of a barn from the outside most of the time.
Is there some sort of tree nearby that can like get me up like closer to the window, or like anything that we can try to climb or whatever?
Not that you're seeing, but you're a relatively light person.
Yeah, she's pretty slender. She's
One of your
tall-ish.
teammates
Throw
could
her.
potentially just lift you up.
There you go. Can I get a boost?
Yeah. I'll give her a...
Okay. This
Boost.
is definitely going to be act under pressure here. So, Fennec, if you could please roll plus cool.
I have a -1 to cool, guys.
Poor guy.
It's about time somebody failed a roll around here.
I love this.
We have luck. Don't forget we have luck.
I got a 4.
Damn it.
Do I want to use luck? How many luck? We only have like what?
We have
2 or 3
2.
luck.
2 luck.
I'll use a luck.
And like, how many more minutes left? Of
Yeah.
this?
All right. So you do it. There's kind of a moment where you're almost certain that like you're still like a touch tipsy and you are about to just like smash Petra into this window. But you manage to stabilize. Petra, as you're sort of getting boosted up, you get a better look at what's behind the window. It's sort of like a loft area, it looks like. Seems like it was
like
originally
a barn loft.
Yeah, seems like it was originally designed to hold like hay, but it's been retrofitted into sort of like. You would say it's similar to like your own sanctum of magic that you use back at the office, if it was ransacked. Everything is knocked over and like half of it is smashed.
is so off in there. I cannot handle this.
Yeah, the energy is not vibing.
The vibes are not here. I do not like the chakras are all out of alignment.
Cast your magic. I'm gonna drop you.
I'm sorry. She just like she grabs her crystal that she's got around her neck and then just like throws her hex. And my hex actually has the special like I can pick from one of the following effects in addition to the normal like magic one, and it's that the target will break something precious or important. And what I'm hoping to do is hit him with a hex so it breaks the bond that he has with the amulet or the monster.
Okay. I'm sorry, remind me how exactly this works.
I roll on weird, so it's just like using magic.
Gotcha.
It's basically I've got like an extended options list for use magic is what my hex is.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it then.
All right. You know what? I'm just gonna take a luck point and take a 12, which would be a 14.
I have done this to myself.
You could have banned luck.
I really should have. I didn't expect you guys to be rolling so well.
We didn't either.
No, we didn't.
None of us did.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. So, you do see Mr. Jacobs sort of stalking about the loft. Rifle in one hand, amulet in the other, and you can vaguely hear through the window him muttering to himself.
Ooh, spooky. It's a ghost in your room.
It was a crow all along.
I was about to say, just broke my train of thought.
He's muttering to himself.
He's muttering.
stalking
Yes,
around
thank
the
you.
loft.
Just sort of like hobbling about. And you reach out with your hex, and you sort of feel your fingers twist around the strands of probability in the future. Familiar feeling, I would imagine. And you just give it a little bit of a tug. Just an imperceptible little...
Yeah.
And one of the floorboards of the loft just kind of creaks up. And you just wait and watch. And then his shuffling foot catches on it. And you hear a as he falls. And you see the amulet go ting, 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 scattering down the stairs. You can't really tell if it breaks per se. Excuse me. But he does definitely no longer have in his grasp, and he looks immediately panicked. You don't hear anything, though.
Go get the amulet. Amulet. Go, go, go. Somebody run and get it before the old man gets it.
Cassandra should go, because I probably won't be able to pick that thing up.
Okay.
That's true.
I'll see it and then I'll run the other way.
Okay.
The amulet! Get the amulet! He's dropped it downstairs! Go, 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 go!
Element of
Don't
surprise.
the amulet. It's fine. Don't drop her.
All right. Once again,
just
I'd say
like
this
standing through the window yelling to the other side of the building.
once again, I would say this is act under pressure. So, Cassandra, if you could please roll plus cool.
Good
Not
luck.
my greatest.
Um,
but
I don't think any of us were cool or tough.
Will say I would like to, if possible, if I could get him within view, I would like to try and use magic to trap him.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and try to roll use magic.
That is a 7 on the.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that do?
So, I will say that as you get to the front of the barn, you throw open the big doors, and you don't see anything. Petra was talking about how the monster was in here, and you don't see it.
Well,
At all.
shit.
And then you take a breath,
And I smell it.
and you smell something.
Does it smell like the feather?
It smells like the feather.
Get the amulet.
Can I
So-
roll something on this monster?
Well, this is going to be your price. You need to act quickly.
Mhm.
So you can get to the amulet, but you are almost certainly going to expose yourself to whatever is in here that you cannot see.
I think I'm going for the amulet, though.
All right. You do hear Mr. Jacobs yelling from the loft as he's trying to like prop himself up with the gun. And I kind of imagining you almost like baseball slide in and grab the amulet. Meanwhile, on the use magic side of things,
I rolled a 13.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I might as well just tell me what happens.
I feel like I'm running after Cassandra and I like swing around into the door frame and just yeah, I love this imagery. Like raise my hand up towards Mr. Jacobs and freeze him in place like a doll.
I want to imagine it was
Oh.
like marionette strings, like puppet strings. You just
Yeah.
like tangle them in puppet strings. I don't know.
Okay.
Like Spider-Man, but really creepy.
I kind of like the puppet strings imagery. If you
Yeah.
Basically
Gotcha.
turn him into a temporary marionette where his mouth gets like the lines on the side and he's got these
Yeah.
puppet strings and his arms
creepy.
are just like
Oh.
I love
stiff.
it. I love this.
I've seen this Criminal Minds episode.
Oh, yeah.
And then the
Grab
eyes
the
are just
wreath.
the really like exaggerated blinks.
Yep. And his head's just like swiveling about, like trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I can't imagine his gun is also like transformed into like a toy pop gun now.
Yeah.
Could have gotten involved in magic, but no, I had to join the FBI.
Fennec.
All
Like
right.
Petra's still on his shoulders. Like, what?
Yeah, the two of you are probably like disentangling yourselves, trying to.
Get her down, get over to the door.
Yeah.
But I'll say Puppet Jacobs here, sort of is like looking at the two of you coming in. You stay out of my way.
You meddling kids.
I imagine y'all aren't that young.
No.
No.
Petra's probably.
I am
About-
at least of the age of consent. Thank you.
Yes.
I was gonna say Petra's in her late 20s, early
Yeah.
30s ish. I don't know. I didn't really
I'm-
think about it.
I am
Said right around
probably
30.
older than I look.
Oh,
That's also-
yeah.
You're from
that's
like
fair.
the 50s.
Yeah.
That actually tracks.
I look
yes.
like I'm in my 30s.
Stop. You don't know what you're doing with that charm.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have any negatives on this, so this guy's just trapped.
Yeah. I mean, I like
Let the thing eat him.
I have a pretty good idea of
I
what you
mean,
were
I
trying to do.
currently have the charms, so I'm like, as long as
We need to. Probably need
I
him
could-
to admit.
Try communicating with this creature.
Hmm.
I will say, the two of you come in, Petra, you do recognize the barn. You all still don't see whatever might be in here.
Where is it, Mr. Puppet Man?
Look around with the camera.
Your face looks much better now. I think she improved it.
Oh, now give us a smile.
I
I have
love
a
it.
question for you, Crow. I don't know if I can do it, but I have the charm
Mm-hmm.
and I have dark desires.
Mm.
Can
You
I
can-
try and convince the monster?
You gonna flirt with the monster, please?
That we
Okay.
mean it no harm and that we really just want to rectify this and get it so it back to its regular life where no one's bothering it.
All right. That's definitely going to be a roll to manipulate someone.
Yep. After all, we just have its best interests at heart.
Absolutely.
Fuck. That would be.
You have luck.
Luck.
I'm going to use that luck point then. Because that was a 3 on the die.
And here I was worried that I was going to accidentally kill you guys with this thing.
I mean, probably, but
I mean, if it got a hold of us, none of us have any cool or any tough, but we can charm the shit out of things
We can,
and we're smart.
we can charm the shit out of things and do magic.
That's about what we got in our arsenal.
You know,
For the
fair.
record, though, also, just so you know, Pro, that did mark off one of my relationship statuses.
Noted.
Brings
Ooh.
the fate of my love into play.
All right.
Uh-oh.
bum bum bum.
So, Cassandra, you have some familiarity with the supernatural, thanks in no small part to Diego. So you're familiar with magic needing to take a part of yourself as sort of a piece of it. And it takes you a moment to realize that's kind of what you need to do here. Now, I would say, Sarah, you're sort of like standing at the door of the barn because, like, you can feel this particular star very strongly.
Okay.
Like, it's very hard to get close to this, and then as Cassandra connects, feeling vanishes. Because you do not see Cassandra as a threat. And now Cassandra is in part of this charm.
And trust. Okay. Oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Well, it means you see glimpses of things. A glimpse of a long family history, of protecting a particular secret, of studying magic in pursuit of making sure things stay under control, of an argument between brothers over the decisions of a recent mayor, over a fight that went a little too far, and an artifact that perhaps should never have been used, and of an old man who was very tired of not getting his way.
Are you just saying he's an 80-year-old child?
Kinda, yeah.
Having a temper tantrum?
Kinda, yeah. He loves Halloween, and he was very angry when the mayor started pushing it out.
I understand.
But then it flips to the creature that this is all connected to. And your image of it in your mind, Cassandra, is of a singular slit pupil yellow eye that just seems to look not even through you, but into you. Takes that piece of you that went into the charm and rolls it over in its gaze.
That's not creepy at all.
And it finds you acceptable.
Oh shit. Oh,
You
no.
have a new magical boyfriend, and your werewolf daddy is going to be so mad. Were daddy's going to be so mad at you.
And all four of you watch as what had appeared to be just like some farm equipment in a tarp in the corner shifts.
I
And
think you were right about the
unfolds.
feathers, Cassandra. Or I think you were right about those feathers.
Their
Yep.
texture crinkles and shifts back into that of the scaly feathers as a long, sinewy neck slowly extends out. A large, jagged beak with
Yep.
saw-like protrusions on it.
Told you it was a bear trap.
Small eyes sort of moving independently like a chameleon before a large central eye opens up to reveal that ocular yellow piercing orb that just all of you know it looks into your soul. And as the Snallygaster continues to unfurl these giant wings and long whipping tail and sharp talons, it just sort of looks at you all. It looks at Cassandra. Thing doesn't make a sound, by the way.
It's not unnerving at all. Hello, Mr. Snallygaster. Nice to meet you. I'm Petra. I don't know how you. Okay, whatever. Anyways,
And slowly the giant eye moves up to John Jacobs, still in puppet form at the top of the stairs. And a question enters your mind, Cassandra. Food?
we should probably take him in and have him confess.
I think Cassandra responds with, "You can eat better."
That one looks old.
The gaze moves to Fennec.
No. I'm probably going to
think
make out with him later, so don't do that.
He sends a picture of like a young white-tailed buck in the forest or in the mountains with food associated with the buck instead of a person.
Acceptable. And it starts to move. And this thing is like huge. Like, imagine like a camping RV. Like, and that's just like the size of its body. Doesn't make a sound. It feels like this thing should be shaking the ground, but every step is just the lightest thing.
It's probably got hollow bones. That's how it flies.
This could crush a car.
Indeed,
Probably.
it could.
Yeah.
Crumple it like paper.
Mm-hmm.
It could also
Anyways.
rip up a J-Mart.
Yeah.
What is it? What did you ask it its name?
I think,
Does it like the Snallygaster name?
I guess she'll kind of phrase that as a question, like Snallygaster ? Or like name. I think she'll get like picture herself with her Cassandra to imply this is what I'm wondering. Like, what do I call you?
It seems to ponder the question, and you get the impression it's never been asked this before. Then its gaze sort of slides to Sarah, and you get a feeling of understanding. You are a friend to things like it.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch as it sort of folds its wings around itself, and again, if you've ever seen like an octopus change texture and shape, it's very similar to that, where it sort of like cocoons itself in its wings and assumes like a new shape. And as the scales reform, it takes on the appearance of a train car.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And as much as you can understand, it wants to be called Train.
Okay.
I was
All
gonna
right,
go for
right.
Go with
Thomas.
that. And I will respond to Petra's question with train.
Hello,
Train.
Train. It's nice to meet you. I'm Petra.
Train. Okay. Sure. Train's a good name. Trains are strong and fast.
Yeah. Yes.
You get to
yes.
see the world.
Maybe we could just like free it now, and then like maybe, because I don't really want to fight it. Let's like maybe just like free it, or like I don't know, have it go hang out in the woods, and I don't know.
I suggested it go
Okay,
off
cool.
and do it
Let's-
something where it doesn't have to bother anyone and no one bothers it and lives up in the mountains and eats deer.
Cool.
I
Petra's
don't
just-
know if I can. I think it has part of my soul now. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, that is. We'll talk about those decisions later. Petra's just gonna open the big like the barn doors or whatever. So if it wants to leave, it can leave.
It'll slowly start making its way there. You all notice this thing does move very deliberately, which you think may in part be how it's moving so silently.
Mm.
It sort of pauses at the threshold. Looks down at the four of you. Opens its beak slightly, and these long tentacle-like tongues start to extend out and caress each of you.
That's a very nice way to say hello. Okay.
Hack the tongue.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
slimy.
Thank
and
you.
very sticky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is this like what a puppy licks you? I'm not sure what's going on.
And then it sort of like turns its neck back towards the loft where Puppet Jacobs is still sort of like dangling there. He has gotten very quiet at this point. And it like opens its mouth slowly, and then just like a flurry of tongues lash out and just rip through the loft. Like the whole back of the barn just like whoosh, explodes out.
We could have
I
have
was-
done that if we had
I-
to sneak in here.
I was hoping you could bring him back, but that's fine.
It doesn't hit him.
Oh,
It leaves him
oh, yeah.
untouched.
It's
But
like a
all-
warning.
All the magic stuff that was up there completely
yeah.
annihilated.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry if
that's-
you guys
This
wanted
is very
any of
smart.
that.
He was using magic in a
That's
bad
fine.
way. The energy in that, the magic one was all off. I didn't like. I was going to go wreck it anyways. Thank you, Mr. Train, for helping me not have to go do that myself. It would have taken me a lot more time.
Another tongue lick.
Giant scary puppy.
Look at us making friends with
Sarah's a
giant
little
scary
bit
puppies.
And Train ambles out into the grass. And again looks back, this time at you, Cassandra. And you can feel the eye sort of move to the amulet.
Does he want the amulet from you?
And it seems sort of questioning.
He wants you. I think he wants his
Um,
freedom.
I think she'll ask if it wants it destroyed, or if, because she's already said it's and she's like, you're free. I don't plan to use this.
Another long tongue will extend out, sort of like waiting to receive it.
I think he wants
guess,
you to give the
yeah,
amulet to
she'll-
him.
She'll give it. She doesn't really want this thing. I mean, I think she's a little afraid that it's currently tied to her, but she'll give it.
It wraps the tip of its tongue around it and then just slurps it back into its mouth.
That's one way to get rid of it, I suppose. All right.
And
Panic-
you get back briefly before it takes it away an image of a nest.
Peace.
And it unfurls its wings and There's just a rush of air, again, no sound, as it just launches into the sky, and you watch as it already is starting to change colors to match the night sky. And before long, you could not tell it apart from anything around you.
Okay. Fennec, did you have those handcuffs?
Oh no, I'm just gonna bring Mr.
I
Jacobs
don't
into
carry
town, just strung up like a
handcuffs.
marionette.
That would
Oh,
make
I
sense.
like this. I actually
Yeah.
like this because then his face is it's much improved. Much better face. Can we ask him why he did this to this poor creature that did nothing to him?
Seems like family
Also, why-
ties and family disagreements and dislike.
Why would you kill your brother over Christmas? This makes no sense.
Because his brother embraced the new where he wanted to embrace the old, and it wasn't in his desires.
These don't seem like
That
real
wasn't
problems.
it at all.
You sound like a small child that is 80. Why did you do it then? Why do you kill these people?
Put it everywhere. Damn Christmas. Only way for my family to make money is with the tourists and stupid mayor.
You're a janitor. You make money by being a janitor, do you not?
So you basically exploited this creature with random sightings for years.
Oh, so your entire family's been doing this for generations? How many?
Axel said it was our sacred duty. Wouldn't
To
use
con-
it as we should have.
To guard the creature? Train? Sorry, he's got a name. That was rude of me.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a name.
Well,
Its
he's
name is
got a
Train.
name. His name is Train.
It just chose name Train. Did you never ask a fairly intelligent creature its name? It can obviously form thoughts and understand your conversation.
Actually, I think the
a
snake
tool.
little whatever.
You just threw it away.
And we're the wackadoos. Okay, buddy.
I'm
You need to
pretty
take a look
sure-
in the mirror, and Sarah's just gonna pull out a a cosmetic and just like open it to show him.
I feel like I don't even know if I could do it correctly, but I feel like he's still got the puppet face and it just kind of goes. The jaw drops.
Sarah, yeah, like makes him look like.
I just snap it shut.
So, what you? Yeah, this place isn't even this nice. Your family's been exploiting a sentient creature for generations for this shithole. This is pathetic. Let's get him in the car.
You're pathetic.
Your face is pathetic.
I think you'll make a great piece for the parade.
You can fix this, right? Right?
I believe that you'll be going to
That's
federal
kind of
prison.
like a
Can I?
marked improvement.
Probably. Will I? That's debatable.
I do believe this qualifies as serial killing, and Fennec can back me up on this. I'm pretty sure you're going to federal prison for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Messages are still being sent.
And nothing will happen because we caught the killer. Hello. We're very good at our jobs. All right, let's go.
It's just like a rattling. Can't really move.
I imagine she's got him like
I'm just
walking like
making
a.
him dance as we walk out, like a marionette puppet.
I love it.
He hates every second of it.
Good.
Petra's gonna start singing a Christmas song just quietly to annoy him. Even though she doesn't like Christmas music, she likes annoying him more than she dislikes Christmas music. So,
All right. Well, it definitely annoys him all the way to the police district. Unless you are trying to turn in a talking puppet, I would presume you undo the curse at some point.
They're gonna notice that his face isn't right.
Unless y'all just want to have your way with him.
I mean, I kind of want to turn
He's
him
not
back
my type.
in front of the police, just because.
Oh yeah, they did call
freak
us
out the police
crazy.
a little bit.
Yeah.
The drunk sheriff is gonna have a.
It might sober him up permanently.
He quits
it
drinking
might.
and goes to AA.
It is
Good job, Sarah.
definitely- It is definitely quite the fright, piloting in the suspect. Though I will say, thanks to your puppetry expertise here, Sarah, it's a simple matter to have him confess.
Mhm.
Not to say that he wasn't willing to do so anyway.
Only I hold the threat of like, if you confess, I'll change you back sooner, and then I don't.
And do you actually make him part of the parade floats? Because that is something that we didn't get to, is that the final fight of this was supposed to be in the warehouse with all the parade floats, which was the weird vehicles that you saw.
Oh,
I mean, I would like to just put him on the lead float and he can like dance or whatever. Replace the toy gun with a trumpet or something.
I think
right.
the sheriff at this point is just like, whatever. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'll say the sheriff is
degree
sort
of
of at that
community
point.
service.
Diego sort of lets it slide. I will say he definitely wants to have a discussion later.
Yep. I figured that.
Petra, you're rather satisfied as you watch the parade go by, seeing Mr. Jacobs strung up on his apparent favorite holiday of Halloween, as the parade is reinstated to sort of celebrate the resolution of the murder.
He should really enjoy his last Halloween since he will be in federal prison.
Strong possibility.
He has one of the best costumes at the very least.
Anyways,
That is
Fennec,
true.
you want to make out later?
I would like to point out that Fennec is in his 40s. I don't know if that deters you
doesn't-
at all.
no.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, sure. Let me brush my teeth first.
That would be ideal.
I will say that Cassandra also does stop by the morgue of a certain individual and leaves her card with, if you're interested, I'll make it worth your while.
I'll say Dr. Ward definitely studies your card as she finishes tapping another cadaver for some blood.
Vampire mommy?
Yeah.
Are you trading Where Daddy for a vampire mommy?
There was no trading.
She was the vampire mommy, and
Yes.
if you hadn't rung the bell, y'all were absolutely gonna walk in on her draining blood out of that corpse.
With like fangs or tubes.
With fangs.
Blah, blah. Oh, where are my fangs?
I would say that Sarah probably dresses
too
up
far
in a
away.
very fancy dress and will also be on like the front float with Mr. Jacobs and just is like waving and enjoying all the attention of the parade.
And I will say, in the weeks and months afterwards, while the seasons do roll around, you hear new rumblings from Middleton of a new cryptid, of these strange puppet people.
Love it.
Love that.
It's certainly bringing a lot of business to the craft stores, who have no end of hilarious costumes to put Mr. Jacob alikes in.
I love it.
Supposedly, he became that way because of an ancient family curse.
Who
Totally.
knows?
Well, I
Knows.
am in like my 90s.
Indeed.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. But the Snallygaster goes back to its relatively peaceful life. Middleton has a criminal, though there are still those lingering questions on how he got those bodies so high up.
Puppet strings.
We explained that it was probably police.
Fennec has like very not great recordings of like the whole video recordings of the whole thing. But when he puts it up on YouTube, he edits it so it looks like it was the puppet guy
Mhm,
instead of the very nice train.
mhm.
And
Puppet people of Middleton, Maryland.
We
He doesn't.
push
I
those
technically he doesn't
cryptids.
upload it. He sends it to conspiracy theorists for them to upload.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
But
Yeah.
he's Well, they're not thinking about train anymore, and he's exposed some truth.
some truth.
You know,
And I will
It's out
say,
there.
you definitely pay some visits to Middleton in the future, especially you, Cassandra, as it turns out the reason Sammy was turned in the first place was Diego was planning on moving his operations out here.
Yeah.
So perhaps through just the gravity of y'all's connection, your little investigation team moves out to Middleton. And every once in a while, you go out to the rusted train yard, where you know that the 7th car down, you just give it a quick tap, and you can find a one-eyed, possibly soul-stealing friend. And I think that's where we'll leave it.
I'm sure it
Late at
loves chin
night.
scritches too, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well done. That did not go in any way how I expected.
It never
That's
does.
how it goes.
We
It was-
have. Go ahead. I was gonna say we have two modes. It's either we commit war crimes or we make friends with the zombies.
That's
Yeah.
it's just
with-
every tabletop group ever.
Y'all befriended the Snallygaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
And
was
anyone-
not the monster I was anticipating using Darkest Desires on, but that's fine.
I was like, okay, if you wanna do that with the Snallygaster, you're welcome to do so. Did any- Go ahead.
I would need more information before I can determine whether or not I'd be willing to flirt with a snallygaster. There's a lot of questions about that.
It's dubiously sentient.
Oh, I mean, yes, that's a good question,
Yes.
but also like
Obviously.
anatomically, there's questions.
I mean,
It's got 7 tentacle tongues.
and you can join our coffee where we might have some stuff on that because they don't censor us there.
Do I have to write that now?
I could detail every part of
Only
Sarah's horrifying backstory.
There you go.
Call it Nasty Gaster.
Mhm.
How about who knows? Maybe we'll have more
Mm.
monster of the week in the future.
Yeah.
Honestly, reading over this system, I don't know if I would necessarily be opposed to running a whole campaign of this.
It's a lot of fun. I play
Yeah.
like a mini campaign on Horror of Tales.
Maybe. Something to think about for the future. But for the time being, it is almost midnight. Thank you to anybody out there who is still watching us at this hour.
Yes.
Yes.
We appreciate you all.
And
Yes.
Very much
good
so.
time. Thank you. We will be back Thursday with more Tales from the Loop, Clockwork Chronicles, episode
Yes.
4. Things are starting to heat up, so make sure to tune in. And then
Oh.
Yeah.
I was about to say all the mystery gifts that we got
yes,
and the meanings
Yes.
behind them.
Find out.
Dominic should be back, so Colin
Yes.
can explain all of those things. And then we'll be back again on Sunday with more Jukebox Justice.
Yay. Yeah.
Come back and tune in if you're not caught up on Clockwork Chronicles. Everything's on YouTube, and it's still early enough that you can get caught up and tune in live. So, for now, we're probably all gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go take off this wig and take off all
I'm
my
gonna take
makeup.
this off.
I gotta
Joke's
take
on
these
you, I'm gonna
contacts
make
out.
dinner.
So we will see you next time. Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.